500 years ago, from colossal rifts in the dark void that resembled the mouths of bottomless abysses, savage abyssal beasts suddenly poured into the mortal realm like a furious black tsunami. It swept everything away amidst earth-shattering roars, and the world was immediately plunged into unprecedented chaos as the people could only flee in panic amidst the dense smoke and dust. Fresh blood flowed freely, and agonized cries echoed in all directions as 10 high gods of supreme wisdom residing in the heavenly realm witnessed this tragic scene from above. Their hearts ached as if cut by a knife, and unable to sit idly by, they immediately agreed to descend to the mortal realm to save the world, wielding terrifying divine power to begin a great war that lasted for 3 long years. It shattered mountains and rivers, shook the heavens and the earth, and dimmed the sun and moon, but they finally suppressed the horde of ferocious abyssal beasts, though the price paid was too high, too terrible. The high god Zhenwu suffered a fatal injury so grievous he was on the verge of dissipating, and had no choice but to desperately return to the heavenly realm to enter seclusion and heal in desperation, before he could recover even a shred of his primal energy. He was ambushed by a dark demonic energy in the cold darkness at the critical moment between life and death, when the demonic energy had almost completely devoured his divine soul. He gritted his teeth and unleashed the desolate soul separation art, using the very last wisp of his divine soul to break free from the terrifying pursuit, and fortunately thanks to the Azure Dragon Cauldron. His ultimate life-protecting treasure, a final sliver of consciousness, was preserved, allowing his divine soul to retain a faint, weak glimmer of light drifting aimlessly across the 3,000 vast worlds. Awaiting a rare opportunity for rebirth that comes once in myriad eons, meanwhile, at the Tat residence in the lower realm, a heavy, mournful atmosphere hung in the air like a chilling, persistent frost. The residence gate was adorned with fluttering white mourning cloths, and white flowers drooped sorrowfully as the cold wind blew in mournful, desolate gusts, while in the middle of the large courtyard, a polished black ironwood coffin was placed. Fake sobs echoed incessantly, mixed with contemptuous whispers for Tat Van, the one who had killed Tat Fu with a single punch out of petty anger. He was kneeling by the coffin, shedding crocodile tears and wailing in a nauseatingly fake tone, "Tat Fu, it was my fault. I never expected your bones to be so fragile. How could one little fall send your soul to the Western Paradise?" A few family members standing behind whispered secretly among themselves, their faces full of contempt. It was obviously Tat Van who killed him with one palm strike, and now he is putting on such a good show. On this continent, the rule since ancient times has always been one and the same: the big fish eats the small, the strong crush the weak, and no one dares to utter a word, and Tat Fu had no spiritual root and zero aptitude since birth. Without even a shred of spiritual power, he was only fit to be easy prey for others to devour, without a hint of pity, while Tat Van is a genius among geniuses, the brightest star of the Tat family. What is the big deal about a genius killing a good-for-nothing? Who would dare to care? Who would dare to question it? At that very moment, Zhenwu's divine soul, like a brilliant shooting star, shot straight into the cold coffin. The dead man's eyes suddenly flew open, shining brightly like 2 sacred flames erupting from the ashes, and Zhenwu was utterly bewildered, his mind spinning as if caught in a whirlwind. Where is this? Was not I devoured by the demonic energy? A terrifying pain shot from the top of his head like thousands of needles piercing his brain. My head hurt so much he quickly closed his eyes and was immediately overwhelmed by a surging tide of unfamiliar memories. It rolled in like a fierce, irresistible tide, and the mocking sounds and humiliating words of the past echoed ceaselessly in his ears. "Tat Fu, your parents are missing. And you yourself are weak and unable to cultivate, so in the future at the sect, remember to behave yourself lest you cause trouble. Your father was mediocre and insignificant, so his son can only be a good-for-nothing. Nothing more, nothing less. Our Tat family is one of the great prestigious clans. How can we have a useless person like you outside? Do not you dare call me third uncle. I cannot stand hearing those 2 words from you. Is that the young master Tat?" They call him a young master, but without parents to protect him and unable to cultivate in the Tat family, he is worse off than even a servant. How pitiful. You dare defile the eyes of young master Tat Van. You are truly seeking death, and the only reason you are still alive is because you bear the Tat surname. Your existence is just a waste of the sect's elixirs. If I had these elixirs, I could have broken through to level 10 long ago. Your death would be the greatest contribution to the Tat family. Zhenwu suddenly understood everything. These were the memories of this body's former owner. Thinking of this, a chill ran down his spine. Am I currently lying in a coffin outside Tat Van is still wailing miserably so loudly it shakes the entire courtyard. Oh, Tat Phew, your death is so tragic that punch of mine was truly an accident. If you could wake up, I would willingly let you hit me back as many times as you want. Tat Phew, may your journey to the underworld be a steady one in the next life. Do not get in my way. Just then, the coffin lid trembled violently, and a world-shaking bang erupted. The heavy wooden lid slammed right into Tat Van's face like a divine punishment, and he let out a pained, miserable scream and fell backwards, blood spraying from his nose as Jen Wu slowly sat up. A cold, contemptuous sneer played on his lips, so sorry the entire group of family members was so terrified their faces turned deathly pale, their limbs trembling. The corpse came back to life. Could it be that young Master Tat's resentment was so strong he turned into a vengeful ghost? No, he has a shadow. He is not a ghost. Tat Van's eyes widened in utter terror. How could he come back to life? I cannot let anyone know I killed him. Killing intent instantly flared up like a wildfire, and he roared, "Everyone step back. Tat Phew has definitely become a reanimated corpse. I will take care of him." Tat Van's fist condensed with crimson flames like a volcano. It erupted fiercely as he charged forward with incredible speed, but Jen Wu just tilted his body slightly effortlessly, dodging the attack like a leaf in the wind, and Tat Van was so shocked his eyes nearly popped out. How is this possible? Jen Wu looked coldly into his eyes, the corners of his mouth curling up with contempt and divine authority. Although this body does not have a single point of spiritual power, he was, after all, once a supreme high god. The leader of 10,000 gods, with one hand he grabbed Tat Van's head as if grabbing a chicken, and forcefully slammed it onto the cold stone ground. "Kneel for me." At this moment, the Tat family's third uncle suddenly appeared. His voice filled with authority and a sharp, soaring aura. "Tat Phew, where did you dare to secretly learn martial arts? And you even dare to strike?" Tat Van. Jen Wu gave a faint smile, his gaze as sharp as a knife. "Third uncle, how would I have the chance to secretly learn martial arts? You can only blame my dear cousin Tat Van for being too weak. He could not even take a single blow." Third uncle's face turned purple with rage, and the flames in his palm erupted into the shape of a giant ferocious rhombus shadow strike, roaring as it shot straight towards Jen Wu's chest. As if wanting to tear everything apart, a gruesome, splattering sound was heard. Jen Wu fell to the ground, fresh blood trickling from the corner of his mouth, hissing in pain like a mortally wounded beast. He thought to himself in extreme agony, "It is hard to accept that with my spiritual power gone, my spiritual beast contract is also gone. I never thought I would be defeated by someone whose cultivation is only at level 15. Third uncle chuckled smugly. "I think you should just obediently accept your death. This coffin will not go to waste then." Tat Van at the side added fuel to the fire, his tone vicious. "Father killing him so quickly is letting him off too easily." Third uncle nodded coldly. "Rest assured, my son, he was hit by my rhombus shadow strike. He definitely will not live for much longer. Just let him lie here and die under the sun. Besides, I will not have to get my hands dirty." He turned and shouted at the crowd, his voice booming like thunder. "Tat Phew. As a junior, he dared to be insolent, and has been taught a lesson by me. Anyone who tries to help him will be considered an accomplice and punished immediately." The harsh sunlight beat down like thousands of fiery arrows. Jen Wu lay there laughing coldly and arrogantly in his heart. It was so difficult to get a chance to be reborn. Unfortunately, the owner of this body was a natural-born good-for-nothing. Unable to cultivate in any way, damn it, all the techniques I mastered have become useless. The only way I can think of right now is the devouring heaven and earth art. It is dangerous, yes, but this is the last chance to find the one who ambushed me in my previous life. So no matter how dangerous, it is worth it. He gritted his teeth and began to circulate the ancient secret art, and in just an instant dark clouds immediately began to gather from all directions. Obscuring the sky above the Tat residence, turning day into night, thunder rumbled as if heralding the awakening of a true god. The rain fell like a waterfall, and lightning descended madly upon the Tat residence. Each raindrop felt as heavy as 1,000 pounds, slamming into Jen Wu's body as he sat cross-legged in the middle of the cold stone courtyard, causing the dormant spiritual energy of heaven and earth to suddenly awaken. It transformed into violent rivers that poured madly into his withered meridians, tearing apart every fiber of his flesh and then regenerating it at an astonishing speed, causing the seemingly hopeless, useless body to suddenly burst with unprecedented intense vitality, defying the heavens. No destruction, no creation, destroy first, then create, devour all things, attain the eternal indestructible aura. Jen Wu's eyes suddenly flew open. Two beams of divine light, sharp as godly swords, shot out and shattered the thick curtain of rain, piercing through the dark clouds, causing an invisible, great devouring array to instantly form around him. The violent spiritual power transformed into a giant pillar of light that soared into the sky, tearing apart the night, making the entire Tat residence tremble, as if it were about to collapse as a terrifying pressure spread out for 100 miles. Causing countless elders sitting in the main hall to jump to their feet in shock. The white beard of the Tat family's patriarch trembled with utter horror, spiritual power this immense. Since when has such a world-shaking, peerless master been hiding near our Tat family? Third Uncle Tat Dao was drenched in a cold sweat, and he hastily denied it in a trembling voice. Patriarch, you must be hallucinating from overwork. Within 100 miles, how could there be anyone stronger than you? We should get to the important matters. I spoke slowly, my eyes twinkling with a scheming light. In a few days, it will be my grand birthday banquet. The master of the Jade Immortal Residence and his precious daughter will personally attend. This is a once-in-a-thousand-years opportunity for our Tat family to expand our connections. Third uncle immediately chimed in. His voice trembled with excitement. Although the Jade Immortal's cultivation is ordinary, his skill in crafting and repairing spirit artifacts is absolutely the best in the world. If we take this opportunity to form a marriage alliance with him, our Tat family will be like a tiger growing wings, firmly ascending to the ranks of prestigious clans. Grandfather stroked his beard, pondering for a long while. Finally, he nodded vigorously and laughed, his voice echoing through the great hall. I had the same idea, I just don't know who should shoulder this important responsibility. Without hesitation, third uncle pushed Tat Van forward. Grandfather Vanner is handsome, his talent far surpasses his peers, and his strength is the best among the Tat family's younger generation. There's no one more suitable to give it a try. Grandfather laughed so hard he slapped his thigh with a smack, decisively giving the order. Good, it's settled then. During this time, you must train Tat Van strictly. We absolutely cannot miss this once-in-a-thousand-years opportunity. Meanwhile, in the training ground behind the mansion, several disciples were gathered chattering away. Scoffs and jeers echoed everywhere. Today, Brother Vaughn was struck by that piece of trash, Tat Few. It was an indescribable disaster. Let's go take a look. Hey, isn't that Tat Few right there? I thought he was already dead. One of them, radiating killing intent, sneered. Let's kill him. If we help Brother Van vent his anger, we'll surely be highly regarded and promoted. Meanwhile, Tran Vu kept his eyes closed, meditating amidst a torrent of spirit energy that swirled around his body like a tidal wave. Just as the first fist rushed forward with astonishing speed, he suddenly opened his eyes. A single gentle punch struck his opponent's stomach, sending the man flying backward like a kite with a broken string. His whole body slammed hard against the stone wall, fresh blood spraying onto the ground as he collapsed, completely powerless. Tran Vu slowly stood up, the corner of his mouth curling into a cold, disdainful smile. Let me give you a taste of the power of the heaven and earth-devouring art. The group was utterly terrified. The two remaining men simultaneously unleashed the spirit serpent fists, their spirit power transforming into two ferocious, roaring pythons that charged forward. But Tran Vu just swayed slightly, his 2 feet striking their chests like lightning, sending them flying like a pair of torn sandbags to tumble across the drenched ground. You dare use such mediocre spirit techniques against me? He spat out the words coldly, and in the blink of an eye appeared behind them like an invisible specter. An invisible formation instantly activated, and a low incantation echoed amidst the relentless rain. Heaven and earth's unparalleled profound finger. 2 streams of mystical true energy pierced straight through the chests of the 2 men. They collapsed on the spot, covered in blood, their breathing faint. The last man trembled so violently he couldn't stand and started smashing his own head against the base of an ancient tree until blood flowed like a river. He died on the spot like a crazed woodpecker. Tran Vu shook his head and sighed, his voice filled with disappointment. The Tat family is truly baffling. They don't recruit handsome geniuses, yet they insist on raising a bunch of trash like this. He looked up at the sky, calculating in his mind. The Spirit Master system is divided into 100 levels. Levels 1 to 20 are Spirit Apprentices. 21 to 40 are Spirit Warriors. 41 to 60 are Spirit Martial Artists. 61 to 80 are Grandmasters, and 81 to 95 are Great Grandmasters. Levels 96 to 100 are Earthly Immortals. Right now, I have only recovered to level 15. Returning to my peak is still a very distant dream. For now, I must focus on cultivation. The next morning, third Uncle Tat Dao led an aggressive group of men to deal with the body. They only found 3 disciples sprawled in the courtyard where the 100-year-old great tree had been snapped cleanly in 2 at its base. He immediately screamed, "What is this? Where is Tat Fu's body?" The lone survivor, his face bruised and battered, stammered out his account. "Last night we were going to help you dispose of his body. Who would have thought that not only was he not dead, but he also beat us to such a miserable state?" An enraged third uncle returned to report to the grandfather. The grandfather looked at the broken tree, pondering for a moment before speaking slowly. How could an ordinary rainstorm topple a 100-year-old tree? It was clearly broken by force. If Tat Fu is still alive, it just means one more mouth to feed. If he truly has some ability, he might even be beneficial to the Tat family. We should spare his life for now. Tat Dao gritted his teeth, his heart seething with immense hatred. "Tat Fu, you are nothing but a resilient cockroach that won't die when stepped on. Don't even dream of getting ahead of me." On the main road leaving the Tat mansion, Tran Vu attracted countless astonished gazes and whispers. He stopped in front of the largest pawn shop in the city and placed an exquisite jade hairpin on the counter. It shimmered with a mysterious light. "Shopkeeper, how much is this hairpin worth?" The shopkeeper picked it up, a greedy glint in his eyes, but he feigned indifference. 520 taels. Tran Vu immediately objected, his voice filled with dissatisfaction. "This is an heirloom from my mother made of top-grade condensed jadeite. How can it only be worth 520 taels? The shopkeeper sneered maliciously. "Take it or leave it. If you're not selling, then get lost. I don't have time to deal with a poor devil like you." Tran Vu gritted his teeth and endured it. 520 taels it is then. I will come back in 1 month to redeem it." The shopkeeper handed over a silver note with a sinister smile. "Don't worry. My shop is the most reputable in the city." As Tran Vu's figure disappeared, the old man muttered triumphantly. "That trash from the Tat family wants to run away, huh? I've made a huge profit this time." Just then, a young woman holding a Cayenne umbrella stepped into the shop. As they passed each other at the door, her long, soft black hair brushed against Tran Vu's cheek, carrying a faint fragrance that made his heart stir with an indescribable feeling. Yat Mien gently pushed open the heavy ironwood door of the pawn shop. The tinkling of silver bells rang out like a cheerful melody in the dusty space thick with the smell of old metal. Then her clear voice, like a jade bell, echoed through the spacious room. "Shopkeeper, have you received any new items recently that are worth a look?" The shopkeeper immediately sprang out from behind the counter like a jack-in-the-box. His wrinkled face instantly broke into a fawning smile that twisted his features, and he rubbed his hands together incessantly like a fly drawn to honey. Of course, young lady, we have top-grade jewelry from the western regions that just arrived and heavenly silkworm silk fabrics that shimmer like clouds. Just point at whatever you like, young lady. I'll immediately give you a special discount reserved only for beautiful ladies. Jat Mien slightly shook her head, her long, narrow phoenix eyes sweeping over each item with a chilling disdain. That sapphire is just a low-quality piece full of impurities. And that earth spirit stone's energy is so chaotic it's no different from a roadside pebble. Not a single item could catch her eye. Suddenly, her gaze fell upon the shimmering green jade hairpin in the shopkeeper's hand, and her eyes instantly lit up, as if she had discovered a treasure amidst a pile of rubbish. This hairpin is made of pure top-grade condensed jadeite. The craftsmanship is so masterful that every line is as perfect as if carved by the gods themselves. It's just a pity that it seems to be an item someone else has pawned. The shopkeeper smiled until his eyes were slits, his voice as sweet as rock sugar. No problem, young lady. This was pawned by some scoundrel. If you like it, it's yours for just 5,200 taels of pure silver." "You can take it home immediately." Jat Mien slightly raised a phoenix-like eyebrow, her tone a mix of surprise and contempt. "Only 5,200 taels. I would have thought it would be at least 30,000 taels. Selling something of this quality for such a low price, you are truly a generous shopkeeper." The shopkeeper almost bit his tongue. His heart bled as if stabbed by a knife, but on the outside he forced a wide smile until his facial muscles twitched. "It's good that you like it, young lady. That's all that matters. I wonder if you'd like to pay with silver taels or a silver note. I'll wrap it up carefully for you." Jat Mien slightly curled her plump cherry-red lips, her tone naturally arrogant. It was as if the whole world had to bow before her. "You just need to go to the main city and announce the name Jat Mien of the Jade Immortal Residence, and someone will naturally bring an entire treasury to pay you. Make sure you remember that and don't make me repeat myself." At the same time, Tran Vu, who had not gone far after leaving the pawn shop, immediately sensed a stealthy presence. It was tailing him like an inseparable shadow. He curled his lips into a cold smile, thinking to himself, "From the moment I left the shop until now, this guy hasn't taken his eyes off me for even a second. He's more than likely a henchman sent by Tat Dao to follow me. Good, I can use this for my grand plan." The city's main street was bustling with people coming and going. The sounds of vendors echoed everywhere. A waiter from the city's largest restaurant immediately ran out to greet him as if he'd seen the god of wealth, bowing and scraping with a wide grin. "Esteemed guest, our restaurant has just taken a special molten cheese pizza out of the oven. Its aroma is absolutely divine. Would you like to try a slice? I guarantee you'll remember it for a lifetime after just one bite." Tran Vu waved his sleeve, his magnanimous voice booming like thunder. "Bring me all of your best dishes. I'm not short on money. Just bring them all up. If even one dish is missing, I'll tear this place down." The waiter, overjoyed as if he'd struck gold, immediately led him up to the third floor to a seat by the window overlooking the bustling street scene. The tail, sitting in a hidden corner and observing from afar, thought with contempt. As soon as he gets a little money, he immediately indulges in such debauchery. As expected, trash will always just be trash. I must report this to Lord Tat Dao at once. Afterward, Tran Vu sat by the window watching the man hurry away as if a dog was on his heels. A cold, calculating smile formed on his lips, rushing back to report so eagerly. How uninteresting. But for the sake of my next grand plan, I'll spare your life for now. He picked up a slice of pizza, still piping hot and steaming. He took a large bite, his eyes widening slightly in surprise, to think that such a strange delicacy existed in the mortal realm. The melted cheese dissolved in his mouth, the flavor was this rich. I never thought the lower realm would have something that even immortals would crave. After eating his fill, Tran Vu donned a discreet black cloak that covered him from head to toe and put on a silver mask he had hastily bought by the roadside, completely disguised. So perfect that he almost didn't recognize himself in the mirror. And now even the most familiar person wouldn't be able to recognize him as he stepped into the largest pharmacy in Purple Gold Pill City. The atmosphere was unusually bustling with people buying alchemy ingredients and asking for the prices of high-grade medicinal pills. The sounds of bargaining echoed everywhere, making the vast space feel like it was boiling over. Zhen Wu walked straight to the main counter, his deep voice ringing out. "Shopkeeper, give me your best alchemy cauldron." The shopkeeper glanced at the 520-tael banknote in his hand. He sneered disdainfully. "The cheapest first-grade cauldron costs at least 3,000 taels. You little brat, if you don't have the money, don't waste this old man's time. Scram and get out of my sight." The people standing behind immediately snickered, their sarcastic voices echoing, "Trying to buy an alchemy cauldron with 520 taels? You have no money and still pretend to be an alchemist. This is no place for poor devils like you." Zhen Wu wasn't angry at all. He just spoke slowly in a calm tone, as if teaching a child, "According to you, only a high-grade cauldron can produce a good pill. A true alchemist must know how to turn decay into divinity, to turn trash into treasure. That is true skill." The shopkeeper, purple with rage, slammed his hand on the table, shouting so loudly that the entire counter shook. "You dare to lecture this old man? This Purple Gold Pill Pavilion is famous throughout the world. It's because I can concoct a second-grade purple gold pill. Does a commoner like you even deserve to discuss alchemy with this old man?" Zhen Wu let out a cold laugh, his voice full of contempt. 15 years and all you can concoct is a purple gold pill. I can make something like this in my sleep. It's nothing more than child's play." The shopkeeper, deeply offended to the point his face turned crimson, roared like an angered lion. "What did you say you dare call the purple gold pill child's play?" Zhen Wu calmly made a suggestion, his voice as light as a breeze, yet full of authority. "Let's make a bet. I will use only 50 taels worth of ingredients to concoct it. A perfect purple gold pill. If I succeed, you give me a first-grade cauldron for free. If I fail, these 520 taels are all yours." The shopkeeper laughed until tears streamed down his face. His sarcastic voice echoed throughout the shop. The ingredients for a purple gold pill alone cost more than 520 taels. "What are you going to use? Stop daydreaming." Zhen Wu calmly replied, "I only need 50 taels worth." The shopkeeper slammed the table, sealing the deal with a confident voice. "Fine, if you can do it. Not only the alchemy cauldron, I'll give you this entire shop." Zhen Wu calmly read out the list of medicinal ingredients, his voice clear with every word. 1 tael of shuwei grass, 2 taels of shengxin vine, half a tael of yuling paste. Everything was brought out on a gleaming silver tray in an instant. The shopkeeper sneered inwardly. These 3 ingredients have nothing to do with the purple gold pill at all. This brat is sure to lose. This old man is going to win big this time. Then Jen-Woo took the tray and walked into a private alchemy room. His cold voice rang out before he closed the door. The purple gold pill will be ready in 1 hour. No one is to disturb me. I will kill anyone who enters without mercy. An hour passed in suffocating silence as the entire shop waited. The shopkeeper stood outside the door, taunting relentlessly. So how is it going, oh great alchemist? Have you managed to concoct the purple gold pill yet? Does this old man need to mercifully grant you more time? The door suddenly creaked open. Under the gazes of hundreds of people holding their breath in the purple gold pill pavilion, Jen-Woo slowly opened the lid of a purple jade box. Instantly, a heavenly fragrance filled the air. It was accompanied by a spiritual energy so pure and dense that it seemed to cleanse the entire room as it spread everywhere. A lustrous, sparkling purple gold pill lay neatly on the red velvet lining. The pill veins were perfect down to the last detail, and a residual warmth emanated from its surface, proving it had left the cauldron less than a moment ago. The shopkeeper of the purple gold pill pavilion nearly knocked over the entire counter in shock. His 2 eyes bulged so wide they nearly popped out of their sockets, his voice trembling as if on the verge of tears. This is truly a purple gold pill, and what's more, it has reached the perfect superior grade. Impossible. The surrounding customers immediately began to buzz like a disturbed beehive, their whispers echoing throughout the vast hall. Impossible. He actually managed to concoct a purple gold pill with just 50 taels worth of trash ingredients. Is the manager really going to give that brat the entire shop? For real, he made the bet in front of so many people. If he goes back on his word now, the reputation of the purple gold pill pavilion will be ruined. I fear no one will ever dare to set foot in here again. Jen-Woo's lips curled slightly, his tone gentle yet powerful enough to silence the room. Now do you admit defeat? The shopkeeper immediately bowed low like a shrimp, cold sweat pouring down him. His voice was so subservient he was on the verge of kneeling. Sir, this humble one was blind and failed to recognize Mount Tai. As for the bet earlier... Jen-Woo waved his hand to cut him off, his tone generous. Don't worry, I was only joking about taking the entire shop. Just giving me the alchemy cauldron is enough. The shopkeeper sighed in relief, as if he'd been granted amnesty, and hurried into the back warehouse, bringing out a small, exquisite purple bronze cauldron. He presented it with 2 hands, as if offering a treasure. This is the best 3rd-grade alchemy cauldron in this humble one's shop. The Zizai Swixen cauldron. It can change size according to your will, expanding and contracting naturally. Please accept it, sir. Then he took out another large jade box. Inside was filled with rare medicinal ingredients shimmering with spiritual light. This is a small token of this humble one's appreciation. They are all superior grade ingredients I have collected for 15 years. Please do not refuse them, sir. From now on, whenever you step into this humble one's shop, everything will have a 30% discount. All right, then. Jen-Woo smiled and accepted it. Well, then it would be rude to refuse. The young maidservant standing nearby looked indignant, her voice small but resentful. Master, all of those things combined are worth at least tens of thousands of taels. With that 3rd-grade cauldron, we are taking a huge loss. The shopkeeper snapped in a low but profound voice. What do you know? This person is so young, yet his mastery of the Tao of alchemy is heaven-defying. He is absolutely no ordinary person. If we treat him well today, our purple gold pill pavilion will surely be repaid 100-fold in the future. Upon hearing this, the maidservant had an epiphany and bowed her head in admiration. The manager is indeed wise. Returning to the Bai residence, it was already the 3rd watch of the night with a cold moon hanging over the glazed tiles. The spy immediately knelt to report before Bidao Lord Bidao based on what this lowly one observed. That Bi Piao sold the hairpin and immediately used the money for drinking and debauchery. As expected, he is still just a piece of trash. Bidao sneered contemptuously. All right, you are dismissed. Continue to keep an eye on him for me. A leopard never changes its spots. That guy really is useless trash. Bi Yun, who was standing nearby, immediately chimed in resentfully. Father, how can you even talk about him? I have cultivated for so many years, yet I was defeated by that piece of trash last time. Bidao frowned, his voice thoughtful. That day was merely an accident. He most likely secretly learned some kind of external martial art. But he still has no way to truly cultivate. Once your cultivation level is higher, he will be at your mercy. He took a shimmering blue medicinal pill from within his robes. Thrusting them into Si Yun's hand, these are 5 first-grade golden cores that I acquired with great effort. You should take it quickly. It will aid your cultivation. You absolutely must not embarrass me at the longevity banquet tomorrow. Bi-yun looked at the pill with a slight grimace. Why isn't it a first-grade purple gold pill? This blue gold pill compared to the purple gold pill. I'm afraid its effect is significantly weaker. Bi-dao immediately grew angry and shouted, "Enough nonsense. Do you think getting a purple gold pill is easy? Just try to embarrass me and watch me break your legs?" Bi-yun bowed her head in fear Yuner will remember. The night grew deeper. The Bai residence fell into a deathly silence with only the cold wind whistling through the long corridors. In Bi Piao's small room, Zhenwu sat cross-legged on the bed and popped the newly concocted purple gold pill into his mouth. Instantly, spiritual energy surged like a tidal wave into his meridians. His old wounds healed completely as if they had never existed. He rejoiced inwardly. The effects of the purple gold pill are truly no joke. Just one pill made his entire body feel reborn. However, if he used too many in a short period, the effects would diminish significantly. He would have to concoct other types of pills. He would have to use them in rotation. He opened the jade box from the shopkeeper. Inside was an array of spirit blood Ganoderma, as red as blood jade ginseng, as green as emeralds, and crimson flame crane feathers shimmering with red light. That shopkeeper really gave him a lot of good stuff. He could probably concoct many useful pills with these. Suddenly, his stomach rumbled. He smiled wryly, almost forgetting that a mortal's cultivation consumes an immense amount of energy. That pizza from this morning was so delicious I can't stop thinking about it. I wonder if the Bai residence kitchen has the ingredients. Zhenwu quietly left his room, crept along the dark corridor to the kitchen at the back of the estate, and heard a chaotic noise as soon as he pushed the door open. Startled, he looked in to see Yue Mian in the kitchen, her white silk dress flowing as she clumsily chased a rooster that was hopping about wildly, sending the other chickens scattering as if it were the end of the world. The rooster, as if possessed, charged straight towards Yue Mian. She screamed in terror, frozen in place and unable to dodge. Zhenwu casually snatched a pair of chopsticks from the table. With a light flick, the chopsticks flew through the air and embedded themselves squarely in the rooster's neck. It collapsed on the spot. He teased, "Little sister, your maidservant is quite beautiful, but she can't even catch a single chicken." Yue Mian's face flushed red, so embarrassed she wished the ground would swallow her whole. "Are you trying to say I'm useless?" "Besides, I'm—" She quickly covered her mouth, almost letting it slip. Zhenwu smiled, looking the girl before him up and down. "You're a young Miss." Yue Mian was extremely panicked. In her mind, there was only one thought: I can't let him know that I, the great young miss of the Yuexian residence, am sneaking into the kitchen in the middle of the night to steal a chicken. If word got out, I'd want to die of embarrassment, so she quickly tried to cover her tracks. This is my first time on the job, so I'm not very skilled at many things, and I got hungry in the middle of the night. Tranvu waved his hand, cutting her off with a magnanimous tone. "It's nothing. The two of us are also hungry. Consider yourself lucky to have something to eat today. Sit and wait a moment, I'll cook for you." He stepped into the kitchen like a professional chef, his knife flashing and the wok sizzling, and in just a moment he had laid out 4 beautiful and fragrant dishes. Stir-fried chicken with shiitake mushrooms, glistening braised pork, boiled greens with fish sauce, and a sweet pumpkin soup. Giat Mian's mouth fell open in astonishment. Her eyes wide. "You're incredible. Are you perhaps the head chef of the Tat family?" She picked up her chopsticks and took a piece of chicken. The moment she put it in her mouth, she almost cried from how delicious it was. "I've tasted countless delicacies from all over the world, but this is truly the first time I've eaten a delicacy that would make even immortals jealous." Tranvu took note of her words. "If you've tasted countless delicacies from all over the world, aren't you just a little maidservant?" Giat Mian was startled and quickly corrected herself. "I used to be a maid at Van Huang Lao, so I've eaten a lot of good food with a full stomach." Giat Mian leaned on Tranvu's shoulder and sighed in satisfaction. Full and sleepy, she rested her head and fell asleep. Tranvu reluctantly helped her up, intending to take her to her room when he heard footsteps outside the door. Giat Mian startled, fully awake, and whispered, "We should quickly get back to our rooms, lest father finds out and scolds me again." Just then, Giat Min's voice came from behind. "Afraid I'll find out what to." Giat Min broke out in a cold sweat. "Father, I—" Giat Min sighed helplessly, the great young miss of the Giat Tien residence sneaking into the kitchen late at night to eat. "Isn't it because your cultivation of the Tai Dich Min Kin consumes too much energy? After the birthday banquet ends tomorrow, we will leave immediately to avoid any more trouble." "Yes?" Giat Min asked curiously. "I don't think this Tat family is actually that impressive. So how did they invite you?" Father Giat Min smiled. "I just have a slight acquaintance with a disciple of the Tat family." "That's right. The head of the Tat family seems to want a marriage alliance with us. What do you think? Gyat Mien teased her eyes, sparkling. Another marriage alliance. Why did you have to have a daughter as beautiful as me, father? It's just so much trouble. If they really want a marriage alliance, we'll have to see if any of them have the skills for it, he said while pointing to the corner of her rosy lips. His voice held a hint of teasing. Oh, right, you still have a piece of shredded chicken stuck to your tooth sneaking food without wiping your mouth clean. How will you ever get married in the future? Gyat Mien immediately grinned from ear to ear, her phoenix eyes curving into sparkling crescents under the red lantern light. She quickly wiped her mouth with her sleeve and then skipped away into the dark corridor. Her laughter like silver bells echoed back, "Aya, father. Why did you only tell me now?" Meanwhile, Tran Vu woke up in the cold kitchen as the early morning sun seeped through the cracks of the wooden door, shining on his face. He rubbed his eyes, yawned, and looked around in confusion. Realizing he had slept here all night without knowing, he picked up the thin blanket covering him and examined it closely. It was made of soft silk with exquisite embroidery. It carried a faint, pleasant fragrance, clearly not something a common servant would own. Tran Vu smiled warmly and whispered to himself it was the little maidservant from last night who covered me. She is from the Tat family. I'm sure we'll meet again in the future. I must remember to thank her then. Otherwise, it would be truly impolite at the crack of dawn. Two servants aggressively pushed open the door and burst into his room like two hunting dogs, their arrogant voices echoing. Tat Phew, why are you still lying here like a dead pig? Today is the family head's grand birthday banquet, and they're short on servants in the main hall. Hurry up and come with us to lend a hand, or don't blame us for getting rough. Tran Vu slowly sat up in bed, his cold eyes sweeping over the two men like a sharp blade. An invisible divine aura instantly erupted, making the air in the room feel as if it had frozen solid. He asked a single soft question, but it was enough to make the two men tremble uncontrollably. Are you giving me orders? The two servants immediately froze, cold sweat pouring down their bodies. Their legs trembled as they dropped to their knees like beaten dogs, stammering incoherently. Young Master Tat, please do as you wish. We wouldn't dare. We wouldn't dare disturb you." After Tran Vu left with a composed air, the two men finally dared to let out a long sigh of relief, trembling as they whispered to each other in fear. What in the world just happened? That Tat Phew fellow seems to have become a completely different person. Before, he was clearly just a fool who got bullied, but now his aura is even more terrifying than the third uncle's. We should stay far away from him from now on, lest we bring disaster upon ourselves. In the main hall of the Tat residence, the birthday banquet was lavishly and magnificently arranged. The sweet scent of flowers mingled with the rich aroma of wine and meat. Guests from prestigious families filled the long tables on both sides. The sound of lively chatter and laughter echoed everywhere. Tat Liu, the family head, wore a brilliant red robe embroidered with a golden dragon and stood in the middle of the hall. He cupped his fist and spoke, his voice booming like a bronze bell. Today is this old man's 80th birthday. I thank all of my friends for traveling from far and wide to celebrate with me. I especially want to acknowledge the presence of the master of the Gyat Tien residence and his beloved daughter. Your presence is the greatest honor for our Tat family, and this old man is immensely grateful. Gyat Min cupped his fist. In a polite return gesture, his tone gentle and humble. Elder Tat, you are too kind. It is but a small token of our sincerity. He gave his daughter a gentle nudge. Meaner, quickly pay your respects to Senior Tat. Don't make your father lose face. 6 Gyat Mien, wearing a white silk dress embroidered with a brilliant golden phoenix, stepped forward like a celestial fairy. She bowed with perfect reverence. Junior Gyat Mien respectfully wishes Senior Tat fortunes as boundless as the eastern sea and a lifespan as eternal as the southern mountains. Tat Lu stroked his beard, smiling so widely his eyes narrowed into thin lines. His voice was full of praise. Excellent, excellent. The daughter of Master Gyat is not only a peerless beauty, but also possesses such rare and impeccable manners. I wonder if she is betrothed yet. Gyat Min replied tactfully, his tone slightly bashful. My Meaner is still young and hasn't thought about marriage. She is still quite playful. Tat Lu immediately seized the opportunity. His voice was full of excitement. As it happens, my Tat family also has quite a few handsome and talented young masters who have yet to find their destined partners. Why don't we take the opportunity of today's banquet for our two families to become in-laws? From now on, we can prosper together. What do you say? Gyat Mien was inwardly annoyed to death, thinking this old man is truly shameless. But Gyat Min quickly interjected, my humble daughter has very high standards over the years, countless prestigious and wealthy families. Even the crown prince of the Shengtian Empire, Huang Duotuo, and the son of the Xilang tribe's chieftain have all proposed, but she rejected every single one of them. Tat Lu's expression soured slightly, his tone tinged with displeasure. Could it be that this old man has misunderstood? Does Master Giat find my Tat family's reputation lacking, unworthy of your daughter, Giat? Min was at a loss for words, but before he could reply, Giat Mien stepped into the center of the hall, her clear and proud voice ringing out. Silencing the entire hall, Senior Tat, you have misunderstood. It is just that I have long made an oath before my father, whoever can make this innate spiritual artifact react will be my husband if any disciple of the Tat family can do it. I, Giat Mien, will marry him without going back on my word. She held up a small, pure white thunder cauldron, which at first glance appeared to be a low-grade spiritual artifact, causing a stir among the crowd. Tat Lu laughed until his belly shook. Little miss, you must be joking. This is a white-grade spiritual artifact. Even a first-level spirit apprentice is enough to activate it. How could that be difficult? Giat Mien's face grew serious, her voice as firm as steel. I will absolutely not go back on my word. Whoever can do it, I will marry. The hall immediately erupted like a disturbed beehive with whispers and discussions echoing all around. Is there really such a good deal in this world? I can activate a white-grade spiritual artifact, too. Does that mean I can also become the handsome Miss Giat's husband? Tat Van immediately stepped into the center of the hall, dressed in fine silks and looking dashing, his voice full of confidence. Everyone step aside. This must be tried by me, Tat Van, first. Could it be that Miss Giat has long admired me? But you were too shy to say it directly, so you used this method instead. Rest assured, I will not disappoint you, miss. He then channeled his true ki into the thunder cauldron, but the result was only a few iron scraps falling out, and the spiritual artifact didn't budge at all. Tat Van was extremely panicked. How could this be? Tat Dao impatiently shouted, Vanner, what are you doing? Tat Van stammered. I've already used all my spiritual energy, but why is there no reaction? Giat Mien concluded nonchalantly. It seems young Master Tat is not my destined one. Does anyone else want to try? An hour later, more than 100 young masters from prestigious families had taken their turns, some red-faced, others drenched in sweat, but the thunder cauldron remained as still as a dead log. Giat Mien sighed and announced, It is not that I look down on any of you, it is just that none of you are my destined one. I suppose the matter of the marriage alliance must be cancelled. Just then, a deep and steady voice rang out from the entrance of the hall, startling everyone into turning their heads. Why not let me give it a try? Tran Vu, dressed in a pristine white robe, his hair tied high with a black silk ribbon, slowly walked in like a descended immortal. His gaze swept across the room, silencing the entire hall. Giat Mien's eyes widened in astonishment. You, aren't you a servant of the Tat family? Tran Vu leaned close to her ear and whispered, You also said you were a maidservant, so we're even. Tat Dao roared in anger. Outrageous, someone get him out of here for me. Tran Vu gave a cold laugh. The rule is that all disciples of the Tat family get to try. My surname is Tat, so why can't I? Tat Lu waved his hand, letting him try, since there was nothing to lose, silently vowing that if he succeeded, he would write his name backwards. Tat Van stepped forward to provoke him. So what if you're just a good-for-nothing who disgraces the Tat family? Let's make a bet. If you fail, leave the Tat family immediately. If you succeed, I will kowtow in apology. Tat Van stubbornly replied, Deal. He thought to himself, this group of people is truly blind. This is a 7-colored Empress Divine artifact that can only be awakened with a special incantation. These 3 magic phrases. As a creation god, I know them by heart. A worried Giat Mien tugged at his sleeve. This spirit artifact simply cannot be awakened. I'm afraid you'll be forced to leave the Tat family. Zhen Yu smiled confidently. Standing before the thunder cauldron, he chanted in a low voice, Red for fire orange, for earth yellow, for metal green, for wood blue, for water indigo, for yang violet, for yin. Yin and yang, the 5 elements together, bless this empress. 7 divine lights exploded in a blinding flash. The thunder cauldron trembled violently as if it were about to shatter. The lid opened automatically, and a 7-colored divine light soared into the sky, illuminating the entire hall as if it were a brilliant day. Zhen Yu said nonchalantly, It seems the spirit artifact has acknowledged me. Miss Giat, shouldn't you fulfill your promise now? Giat Mien was still dazed and in deep shock. Her heart pounded wildly. Impossible. Is he truly my fated one? The entire hall was dead silent. Tat Dao's face was ashen. Tat Van's legs turned to jelly as he nearly collapsed, and Tat Luo's voice trembled. Good, very good. Since Tat Fu has succeeded. Miss Giat, it is time to fulfill your promise. Wait. Giat Mien took a deep breath, her voice resolute. I always keep my word. Zhen Yu suddenly interrupted, his voice echoing through the hall like thunder. Miss Giat, there is no need to be troubled. I did not attempt this because I covet your beauty, but only to prove one thing to everyone here. He turned around, his icy gaze sweeping over every face in the Tat family like a blade. The disciples of the Tat family are all worthless. Tat Van's emotions surged and blood rushed to his head. He ground his teeth, his eyes bulging with rage as he stared at Zhen Yu standing proudly in the hall. He suddenly pointed a finger and roared, "Who did you just call worthless?" Zhen Yu gave a slight smirk, his cold gaze sweeping over the young Tat prodigy's flushed face before he slowly gestured towards the glittering jade steps. His tone was placid but sharp as a blade. A penniless man like myself is truly unworthy of the beautiful young lady. It would be best to call off the engagement. If you feel you owe me, simply gifting me this spirit artifact will suffice. Hearing this, Gyat Min Nung Chu, who was sitting in the main seat, broke into a satisfied smile. He gently stroked his long beard, his deep, warm voice resonating. Young Master Tat speaks with great reason. Marriage is a matter for a lifetime and cannot be forced. This spirit artifact shall be a gift to you. As for the marriage alliance, let us cancel it for the time being. Tat Lu stood to the side, his eyes narrowed with cunning. He moved closer to Zhen Yu, his voice a honeyed whisper in his ear. Tat Fu, this is a once-in-a-millennium opportunity to change your fate. Do you truly wish to let it pass? Zhen Yu let out a cold laugh, his sharp gaze sweeping over the three powerful figures of the Tat family. Then his voice suddenly rang out clear and resonant through the deathly silent hall. As a man of honor, must I rely on others to change my own destiny? Please forgive my impertinence, family head. As he finished speaking, Gyat Mien, standing beside her father, felt as if she had been struck by lightning. Her phoenix eyes widened, her proud heart deeply moved by his extraordinary spirit. But Gyat Min Nung Chu suddenly burst out laughing, a sound that rang out like a bronze bell. He pointed towards Zhen Yu, his eyes glinting with admiration. What an arrogant young man. He is much like I was in my youth. Old ancestor Tat Lu had to sigh and concede, his tone resigned. Since it has come to this, the engagement must be called off. I hope Mr. Gyat will not mock us. Gyat Min Nung Chu waved his hand, laughing heartily in response. Not at all. I have always heard that the Tat family is filled with successive generations of talent. Seeing it for myself today, I see your reputation is well-deserved. Zhen Yu, however, wasn't finished. He glanced sideways at Tat Van, who was trying to slip away. He smirked, his tone taunting. Junior brother Tat Van, don't be in such a rush. Surely you haven't forgotten the bet we made just now. Tat Van cursed inwardly, damn it. But before so many people, he had no choice but to grit his teeth, turn back, and bow his head in defeat. I was wrong. Zhen Yu deliberately cupped his ear, pretending not to hear clearly. Junior brother Tat Van, did you not eat today? Utterly humiliated, Tat Van strained his throat and bellowed, I said I was wrong. How dare you humiliate me in front of everyone? A deep-seated hatred was carved into his heart. Tat Fu, if I do not avenge this, I swear I am not a man. His objective achieved. Zhen Yu turned to Tat Lu and bowed respectfully. If everything is concluded, I ask for leave to return to the servants' quarters to rest. I have chores to attend to this afternoon. Tat Lu abruptly raised a hand to stop him, announcing in a solemn voice for all to hear. Wait a moment. I declare that Si Piao's orthodox status is restored. Go to the treasury immediately to collect your monthly allowance, and tomorrow you will participate in the cultivation training without delay. As soon as he finished speaking, the faces of those who had once scorned him turned pale. It seems we will have to be more courteous to him in the future, they thought. Who knew Tat Fu had the skill to turn the tables and save the entire Tat family's honor? Zhen Yu gave a deep bow. If that is the case, thank you, Lord Patriarch. Tat Dao stood behind him. His face was so grim it looked like it might drip blood. He gnashed his teeth in his heart, damn it. To let that brat Tat Fu show off in front of the old ancestor today, I must find a way to get rid of this thorn in my side soon. Early the next morning, the magnificent carriage from the Gyat residence was already parked before the Tat Manor's gate. Two maids paced back and forth impatiently, constantly looking around. We are about to leave. Why haven't we seen any sign of the young miss? I don't know either. She disappeared early this morning. It turned out Gyat Mien had not yet departed, because she was silently searching for Zhen Yu. She finally spotted him by an old tree in the back courtyard. Her phoenix eyes lit up, her voice a mixture of blame and delight. I've been looking for you all morning. I knew you would be here. Zhen Yu looked up a little surprised. Young miss, aren't you supposed to be heading back today? Gyat Mien gave a soft humph and stepped closer, probing. If you knew I had to leave, why didn't you come see me off? After all, we're bound by fate from a past life. Zhen Yu gave a bitter smile and shook his head, clearly drawing a line between them. Your father seems terrified I might steal away his precious daughter. It's better if we avoid contact. Gyatmian ignored him. She took out a glittering emerald hairpin and gently placed it in his hand. I've never had a friend before. You are the first. This hairpin is a gift for you. Consider it a keepsake! Zhen Yu looked at it closely and was immediately startled. Isn't this the hairpin I held in the antique shop? How is it in your hands now? Gyatmian smiled as radiantly as a blossoming flower, her eyes curving into crescent moons. I never thought we were fated to this degree. The object has returned to its rightful owner. Zhen Yu quickly refused. No, I cannot accept this. You already gifted me the spirit artifact. You should keep this hairpin. You can give it back to me the next time we meet. Gyatmian tilted her head playfully. Not a bad suggestion, but by then you'll have to defeat me before I return it. Zhen Yu nodded readily. A deal is a deal. She suddenly remembered something, her voice lowering in seriousness. Oh, right. There is one more thing I want an honest answer for. Before Zhen Yu could even speak, she cut him off with a laugh. Just kidding. Take this bottle of pills. I can see that the Tat family is surrounded by danger, so be careful. He took the jade bottle, opened the lid, and saw the brilliant red third-grade blood toad pill inside. He exclaimed in astonishment, a third-grade blood toad pill. On the open market, this is worth at least 100,000 taels of silver, isn't it? You are truly generous, my lady. Gyatmian winked teasingly. Are you having second thoughts now? This young lady happens to be a little heiress, you know. The Green Mountains will not age, and the clear waters will flow forever. We shall meet again someday. Zhen Yu stared blankly after the carriage as it disappeared into the distance, his hand still clutching the pill bottle. The corner of his mouth curved up involuntarily. This little heiress. She has such an interesting personality. I wonder if we will meet again in the future. Upon returning to his room, Zhen Yu immediately sat cross-legged and began to cultivate. For a spirit master, a spirit artifact is like a second life. After selecting one, a spirit master must infuse it with their own spiritual energy. This causes the spirit artifact to gradually awaken, even becoming a medium for contracting with spirit beasts. In the process of refinement, the spirit artifact will transform into a weapon or a protective tool. Spirit artifacts are graded by color: white, green, blue, pink, purple, and red. Above red is the seven-colored Empress, which is exceedingly rare. Zhen Yu looked at the seven-colored Empress artifact hovering before him, his heart filled with anxiety about his current cultivation level. I fear it will not accept me as its master. Consuming the blood toad pill now would be a great waste. I should go to a medicine shop, buy some ingredients, and practice alchemy myself. Meanwhile, at the largest establishment in the city, the Purple Gold Pill Pavilion, the shop owner respectfully presented 10 shimmering purple gold pills. Young Master Talon, here are the 10 pills the Academy ordered in advance. I have them ready. Young Master Talon furrowed his brow slightly as he picked one up for inspection. A peculiar look of astonishment appeared in his eyes. The quality of this season's purple gold pills far surpasses the last. Shopkeeper, have you perhaps been promoted to a 4th-level alchemist? The owner waved his hand modestly, but he could not conceal his pride. Young Master Talon has a sharp eye indeed, but regrettably I was not the one who refined these pills. It was another youth. It is shameful to admit, but his craftsmanship is such that I must bow in admiration. Young Master Talon placed a thick stack of silver notes on the table. For purple gold pills of such high quality. Take this extra 3,000 taels. The shop owner beamed, as expected from a genius of the Academy, truly generous. Just then, Zhen Yu pushed open the door and entered, saying in a low voice, Shopkeeper, 300 grams of immortal crane grass, 200 grams of blood bodhi, and half a caddy of purple turtle shell. The shop owner quickly wrapped the items and handed them over personally. Here you are, sir. Zhen Wu nodded in thanks. I'll be leaving first. Young Master Shi Leng turned back his gaze, sweeping over the back of the silver-masked figure, a corner of his mouth curling in interest, as the shopkeeper leaned close to whisper in his ear, Young Master. He is the one who refined those 10 purple gold cores. Young Master Shi Leng let out a soft, a peculiar glint in his eyes. How interesting, coming to buy medicinal herbs while wearing a mask. With that level of skill, hiding one's identity is to be expected. Young Master Shi Leng stood in the middle of the purple gold core pavilion, his long, slender fingers gently stroking the edge of the zeton wood table, his narrow eyes flashing with a predatory gleam. Never before in a small city like Phoenix Pearl City. To have hidden such a young alchemy genius, it would be a lifetime's regret if I failed to befriend him. Afterwards, Zhenwu quietly left the apothecary, his steps as light as a night cat as he slipped through a dark alley. As soon as he turned a secluded corner, he swiftly removed the silver mask, stuffing it into his chest robe, the corner of his mouth curling slightly. Just wait until the day I am firmly established in the Sai family. Why would I still need to be so secretive? A stealthy presence tailing him from behind made him merely smirk without bothering to turn around. It's just Si Tao's hunting dogs again, whose clumsy skills aren't worth a single drop of my spiritual energy. The main street suddenly erupted into a commotion like a disturbed beehive, with a crowd forming a tight circle in the middle of which a young girl in white knelt in the dust, her eyes welling with tears. A sign hung on her chest reading, "Selling myself to bury my father in still wet chicken blood." Sighs of pity echoed all around as people shook their heads, wiped their tears, and whispered, "What a poor young lady. So beautiful, yet she has to suffer such a fate." Si Yun saw this from a distance, his eyes glowing like a hungry wolf that had scented fresh blood, the corner of his mouth twisting into a lecherous smile. He immediately pushed through the crowd, saying, "Let this young master hear about it." Zhao Luo trembled. Her voice choked with emotion, but she still tried to be polite. "If the young master would give 100 taels of silver to bury my father, this humble Xiao Luo will be willing to work like an ox and horse for you from now on. To serve you for the rest of my life without complaint." Si Yun laughed loudly and suddenly yanked her fair arm. 100 taels, I'll give you exactly 100 taels to buy the crappiest coffin. Toss your father into the burial grounds and be done with it, and as for you, forget that nonsense about being an ox or a horse, just come back to the Sai family and be my concubine. A sharp clap suddenly echoed as Zhenwu slowly emerged from the crowd, his eyes as cold as ice, his sarcastic voice ringing through the street. Junior brother Si Yun is truly so generous. In the future, if Martial Uncle Si Tao unfortunately passes on, perhaps we should handle it the same way. For convenience, it would be even better to save the money on buying a concubine. Si Yun snapped his head around his face, flushing beet red. "It's you again. Why do you keep following this young master around?" Zhenwu shrugged, his expression innocent. "Don't wrongly accuse me. I was just coincidentally out to buy a maid." Saying this, he pulled a thick stack of silver notes from his robe and gently placed it in Xiao Luo's trembling palm. "Young lady, take these 500 taels and give your father a proper burial. Use the rest to buy some incense. Don't let your elder be without in the underworld." Xiao Luo fell to her knees, tears falling like rain. "Thank you for your kindness, young master. This humble girl will never forget it as long as I live." Si Yun was so furious, his face twisted. "I was clearly here first. What right do you have to steal from me?" Zhenwu gave a cold laugh, his voice ringing like a bell. "Everyone saw that I offered more money. Therefore, this young lady belongs to me. As for your 100 taels, you should keep them to take care of Martial Uncle Si Tao, lest you can't afford a coffin for him later." The crowd immediately roared with laughter, their jeers echoing through the street. "Is this the genius young master Si Yun? Save your money to bury your own father." "Ha ha ha ha!" Si Yun could no longer hold back and roared in fury. "You bastard! This young master must cripple you today!" His fists clenched, true chi erupted, and the azure illusory shadow fist swirled around them. It carried a whistling cold wind as it rushed straight for Zhenwu's chest. Si Yun just sneered, inwardly contemptuous of such a meager skill being shown off so loudly as the terrifying force of the fist slammed directly into his chest. But at the moment of impact, a 7-colored aura flashed from the robes directly reflecting the attack. Si Yun felt like he was hit by a sledgehammer in the chest, his body flying back more than 10 jang. He slammed hard against a stone wall, spewing a mouthful of dark red blood. Zhenwu hadn't even made a move and already saw his opponent defeated, which startled him as well. Could the 7-colored robe have automatically protected its master? Si Yun wiped the blood from his mouth and screamed, "Si Tan, Si Xiao, go kill this bastard for me." The two family retainers immediately drew their swords and charged forward, their killing intent palpable. "You dare to touch a fellow disciple. Don't blame us for being ruthless." Just then, a figure in white floated down from a rooftop, landing directly in front of Zhenwu as a cold voice spoke out. "It's obvious that you attacked first, and this friend was merely acting in self-defense. I, Shi Lang, do not enjoy watching others bully the weak." When Si Tan and Si Xiao saw the academy insignia on Shi Lang's chest, the blood drained from their faces instantly. A first-level student of the True Spirit Master Academy. The crowd immediately began to stir. "My heavens, that's the #1 academy on the continent. Anyone admitted is a genius among geniuses." Si-yun, though heavily injured, still managed to yell, "So what if he's an academy disciple? This is a Psy family matter. It's not your place to interfere." The two trembling retainers quickly helped Si-yun up. "Young master, we can't provoke him. Let's return to the manor quickly." Xiao Luo stepped forward and knelt before Jen Wu, her voice trembling. "Thank you for saving me, young master. This useless girl is just a burden. Miss Xiao Luo, I can only protect you for now. If you don't want to be bullied in the future, you must become stronger yourself." Xileng laughed heartily and patted Jen Wu's shoulder. "My name is Xileng, and I most enjoy making friends with righteous heroes. Let's consider it fate that we met today. Allow me to treat you to a meal." Jen Wu also smiled and replied, "I am Si Piao, and I accept you are quite interesting as well." Xileng turned to Xiao Luo. "Miss Luo, will you join us?" She shook her head, tears in her eyes. "This humble girl must still arrange my father's funeral. Please take care, you two young masters." The two men waved. "Then we shall meet again, if fate permits." The young girl Xiao Luo watched their receding figures disappear. Clutching the silver notes, she silently carved a vow into her heart. "Young Master Si Piao, when we meet again, Xiao Luo will certainly not be as weak as I am today." At the same time, in the rear courtyard of the Si estate, the servant carrying a blood-covered Si-yun burst in frantically. "Marshal Uncle Sai, it's a disaster. The young master is grievously injured. Lying on the bed, Si-yun ground his teeth. Father, you must kill Si Piao. I want him to die without a burial place." Si Tao clenched his fists, veins popping on his forehead. "The family head thinks highly of him right now, so a direct move isn't easy." Bao Xuan emerged from the shadows with a cold smile. "Unless we can make Si Piao's reputation completely ruined, and have him thrown out by the Sai family itself." Si-yun sat bolt upright. "Elder cousin, why are you here?" Bao Xuan smoothed his sleeves, his voice as low and venomous as a serpent. "I returned from the True Spirit Master Academy on some business, so I can lend you a hand. Younger cousin, this plan is absolutely flawless. It just requires my younger cousin to make a small sacrifice." Si-yun grew impatient. "What sacrifice? Tell me quickly." Bao Xuan smiled coldly. "Don't worry, how could your elder cousin ever harm you?" At the Shui Sheng Inn, the aroma of roasted garlic butter wafted through the main hall. Young Master Xileng sat across from Jen Wu, tapping his fingers lightly on the wooden table. He laughed loudly and called to the manager, "Bring us the largest pizza. Extra string cheese and one medium-rare beef steak, and be quick about it." Inside the Shui Sheng Inn, the aroma of roasted garlic butter mingled with string cheese wafting through the grand ironwood hall. Young Master Xileng raised his cup of hot tea, his long, narrow eyes curving into crescents. His free-spirited voice rang out, "Meeting by chance is destiny, so I shall use tea in place of wine to toast you, brother Si Piao." Jen Wu's lips curled slightly, his languid gaze sweeping over the young master of the Xileng clan, who was trying to conceal a smile. He slowly set down his chopsticks, his voice calm yet sharp as a blade. "Young Master Xileng, you followed me for a whole street because of the 10 purple gold cores. I'm afraid this meeting wasn't as coincidental as you say." Young Master Xileng was stunned for a moment before bursting into laughter, scratching his head in embarrassment. "So you realized it long ago. Why didn't you just expose me then?" Jen Wu shrugged, a smile playing on his lips. "If I had exposed you, would I be sitting here eating for free like this?" Young Master Xileng laughed so hard the table shook and immediately got straight to the point. "Brother Si, since you are being so frank, I won't beat around the bush either. You are so young, yet your pill-refining art has reached a realm that made the manager of the Purple Gold Core Pavilion bow his head. Why not consider joining the True Spirit Master Academy? That place is a true paradise for geniuses." Jen Wu raised an eyebrow, his eyes showing interest. "The True Spirit Master Academy. I have only heard of it but don't know the truth of it, Brother Xileng. Could you elaborate?" Young Master Xileng immediately sat up straight, his voice full of pride. "The True Spirit Master Academy is the premier holy land on the continent. Since its establishment, it has cultivated countless world-shaking powerhouses. The Academy is divided into 3 great courts: the Red Jiao Court, which specializes in combat, the Blue Palace Court, which is proficient in spiritual arrays, and the Golden Wing Court, which specializes in alchemy and taming spirit beasts. Depending on one's innate talent, each person will receive specialized training. Resources are limitless. As long as you are exceptional enough, the entire continent will kneel at your feet." Just then, with a loud bang, the ironwood door was kicked open. A fierce-looking servant from the Sai family rushed in, pointing a finger straight at Jen Wu and roaring, "Si Piao, you still have the mood to sit here and drink? Hurry back to the manor with me to face your punishment. You are in huge trouble." Jen Wu slowly put down his chopsticks, raising an eyebrow. Could it be that Si-yun, unwilling to accept his defeat, went to complain? The servant sneered, his killing intent palpable. You still dare to mention senior brother Si-yun. You've beaten him to death. Jen Wu laughed coldly. Kill him. At most he would just take a fall. How could he die? Young Master Shi Leng stood up abruptly, his voice stern. I was there at the time Bi-yun was only seriously injured. His vital energy was still abundant. There was absolutely no way he could have died. The family servant gritted his teeth. If you don't believe me, go back to the manor and see for yourself. Senior brother Bi-yun's body is lying in the middle of the main hall. Less than an hour later, the group stood in the great hall of the Tat Mansion, where mournful and tragic cries echoed everywhere. My Van Ni, you died so tragically. Tat Dao knelt before his son's corpse. Tears and snot streamed down his face as he screamed at Tat Lu. Lord Clanhead, you must seek justice for my son. That Tat Fu killed someone and must pay with his life. Tran Vu stepped in. A cold voice rang out. According to the clan rules, disciples of the Tat clan may not use their strength to bully the weak. Moreover, Tat Van dared to harass a good woman in the middle of the street. I was only defending myself. Why punish me? Tat Dao pointed with a trembling finger. Van Ni is just a child. You were jealous of his talent, so you took the opportunity to kill him. Tran Vu sneered. Over 20 years old and still called a child. Everyone in all of Huangchao City saw him ambush me first. Tat Lu frowned, his gaze sweeping over young Master Tai Lan, who was standing nearby. Young Master Tai Lan, why are you here? Tai Lan clasped his hands respectfully. The academy entrusted this junior with a small task. I happened to meet young Master Tat Fu and did not have a chance to pay my respects to you, senior. I hope you will forgive me. Tat Dao remained stubborn. In any case, Tat Fu is involved in Van Ni's death. Are you going to defend him just because he knows someone from the academy clan head? Tat Lu's voice was as deep as thunder. If you can prove Tat Fu is the murderer according to clan rules, his cultivation will be crippled, and he will be expelled from the clan. But if he is not involved, you must kneel and apologize to him to clear his name. Tran Vu stepped forward, his gaze resolute. I know some medical arts. Allow me to examine the body of junior brother Tat Van. If he is truly dead for whatever reason, I will willingly accept my punishment. Tat Dao sneered. The body is right here. Go ahead and check. Tran Vu lifted Tat Van's hand to check his pulse. No pulse, no breath, the body was ice cold. He took out a jet-black medicinal pill. Then I will have junior brother Tat Van take this pill. Does anyone have any objections? Tat Dao immediately stopped him. You cannot, this is my son's body. Tran Vu gave a cold laugh. He is already dead. Are you afraid he will drink poison, martial uncle, or are you afraid he will come back to life? Tat Dao's face turned pale. I am only protecting my son's body, is that wrong? Tat Lu shouted loudly. Someone feed the pill to Tat Van. Tat Dao rushed forward to block them. Whoever dares touch my son, I will fight you to the death. Young Master Tai Lan suddenly stepped forward, a brilliant golden true chi condensing in his palm, his voice as cold as ice. Seniors at the academy once studied a life-departing, desolate soul art that feigns death. I just observed that young Master Tat Van shows the exact same signs. Allow this junior to test it. Cough, cough. Tat Lu nodded. You have no objection, do you, Tat Dao? Tat Dao's voice trembled. Please, please go ahead. The brilliant golden true chi enveloped Tat Van's body, and a stream of dark, gloomy energy was pulled out from his 7 orifices. Suddenly, cough, cough, Tat Van sat up, his eyes panicked. Where am I? The entire hall fell silent. Tat Dao was horrified. Van Ni. Tat Van looked around blankly, then suddenly laughed foolishly. I am the #1 spirit master under heaven. My father has hemorrhoids. I want a grandma. Tai Lan sighed. A side effect of the life-departing desolate soul art is the complete loss of one's mind, turning them into an incurable fool. Tat Van pointed around randomly. Father, we used the feigned death technique to frame Tat Fu. Did we succeed yet? Tat Dao's face turned to ash. Don't talk nonsense. Tran Vu clasped his hands towards Tat Lu. Lord Clanhead, the truth is now clear. Martial Uncle Tat Dao used a dark art to frame a fellow clan member according to the clan rules. How should he be dealt with? Tat Lu's eyes were as cold as ice. Tat Van has become a useless man, so he will be spared for now. As for Tat Dao, cripple his cultivation and expel him from the Tat clan. He is forever forbidden from setting foot in Huangchao City again. Tat Dao collapsed to the ground, his trembling hands clasped together, pleading earnestly. His desperate voice echoed in the tense atmosphere of the Tat clan's great hall. Lord Clanhead, for so many years I have dedicated everything to the Tat clan. Please spare me just this once. The true chi in Tat Liu's palm gradually condensed, swirling into a massive and powerful vortex. A fierce light flashed from it, causing the surrounding space to tremble. I have made my decision. If you must blame someone, blame your own immense greed. Hearing this, his eyes grew bloodshot with rage, then a malicious intent surged within him. Clutching a dagger, he lunged forward at an incredible speed. Old man, I will fight you to the death today. Young Master Tai Lan immediately intervened, his spiritual power surging as he expertly set up an iron control technique formation, causing the dagger in the man's hand to suddenly change course. It plunged straight into the sturdy stone wall with a deafening clang. Tat Dao's jaw dropped in utter shock, his eyes wide with panic as that wave of power slammed directly into his forehead. Like an invisible punch, his body was sent flying backward, crashing hard without any chance to resist. He landed motionless on the cold ground. Tran Vu thought to himself, to be able to use the iron control technique with such mastery. As expected of someone from the academy, the difference is clear. Tat Van slowly walked over and stomped heavily on his helpless father's body, his cold voice echoing. You really do look like you are dead. Tat Liu was stunned for a moment, a complex look in his eyes. Then he turned to young Master Tai Lan with a grateful tone. Evil is repaid with evil. Young Master Tai Lan, I let my guard down just now. Thank you for saving me, he replied deftly, a polite smile on his lips, his posture humble yet full of grace. Senior Tat, your cultivation is profound. Even if this junior had not intervened, he would not have been able to harm you. He had a favor to ask of the clan head. I have a request. I hope you will agree to it, Tat Lu consented. Speak your mind. Tran Vu immediately made his proposal, his voice filled with hope and respect as he spoke of the power he had just seen. Today I witnessed the power of young Master Tai Lan. It has truly opened my eyes. I hope to be allowed to study at the Spirit Master Academy, so that I may bring honor to the Tat clan in the future, and so he received the approval of the clan head. He quickly mounted his horse and departed from the Tat estate, embarking on a promising journey to the academy. The horse galloped until it reached a riverbank where it slowly came to a halt. Breathing heavily after the long ride, Tran Vu gently stroked its head. His voice was soft, as if whispering to his companion, Radish, let's stop and rest for a moment, okay? He then casually took off his shirt, draping it over the horse before splashing into the cool water to wash away the sweltering heat. Tran Vu swam and dove with the agility of a fish in the cool, clear water. The gurgling sound of water followed his every graceful movement. As he surfaced, Tran Vu exclaimed in refreshment, his breath mingling with the fresh air. This spring water feels great. He suddenly blushed as his eyes accidentally met another figure, his cheeks burning with embarrassment. Wait a minute, ahead of him was a woman. She had also just surfaced, her wet hair clinging to her skin. Both of them froze for a long moment, and the air suddenly grew incredibly awkward and tense. Tran Vu embarrassedly lowered his head. The girl, on the other hand, was blushing in embarrassment while glaring angrily. He decided to feign blindness. This place seems quite beautiful, but it is a shame that I am blind, so I cannot see a thing. The girl quietly grabbed her clothes, which were draped over a rock, hoping this incident would pass quickly. She inwardly sighed with relief, while Tran Vu rejoiced in his heart. A discreet smile touched the corners of his mouth. This young lady actually believes that I am blind. It seems my acting skills are not too bad. I am so busted. Long Ha suddenly turned back towards him, a fierce light flashing in her eyes as she took the initiative to attack the fake blind man, intending to teach him a lesson he would never forget. Go and die. Tran Vu was inwardly panicked, his heart pounding in surprise. I am done for. Long Ha cracked her whip down where he stood, the sharp and threatening sound whistling through the air. But Tran Vu could sense the immense spiritual power behind that attack. It forced him to concentrate fully to dodge it. Seeing him evade her strike, she immediately taunted him, her voice filled with sarcasm and suspicion. You are not blind, are you? How could you dodge my whip? Tran Vu replied politely, trying to maintain a calm voice amidst the chaos. Miss, I just did not want to embarrass you. Why should you concern yourself with that? Long Ha said firmly, her eyes unyielding. My body is absolutely not for others to see. Everything has a price. He shrugged in exasperation. His hands hung limply in helplessness. Well, you have a point. All right, take anything of value I have on me. She just curled her lip into a cold smile, inwardly plotting various challenges to punish this insolent man. Tran Vu threatened, his voice growing stern. I have tolerated this long enough, young lady. If you refuse to stop, then do not blame me for being discourteous. Long Ha pointed her whip forward provocatively. "Oh, really? I, on the other hand, would like to see what you are capable of." He adopted a dangerous look, his eyes glinting with high alert. "My ultimate move is—" She frowned, on guard against any dirty tricks, but who would have thought Tran Vu would turn tail and run? His feet moved like the wind. Of the 36 stratagems, fleeing is the best. Long Ha immediately pursued him, her whip swinging with murderous intent. "It is not that easy to escape," he said calmly. His voice remained playful even as he fled. "I only accidentally caught a glimpse of your body. Besides, your body is rather ordinary, nothing special to look at." Hearing this, she grew even more enraged, her face flushing red as blood rushed to her head. "Go die! How dare you say my body is ordinary and unattractive?" Long Ha carelessly fell into his trap, her body suddenly strung upside down from a high branch, her whip dropping from her hand as she cried out in surprise. Tran Vu began to speak, his voice filled with pride in his own cleverness. "I used my intelligence to capture you, so that still counts as a one-on-one duel. You're not very old, but you have quite a temper, haven't you? I think you should stay here to cultivate your mind and create less bad karma." "I'm leaving now!" The branches behind swayed violently, and the sound reaching Tran Vu's ears made him turn his head in alarm. He was horrified to see that the branches had been snapped and burned by a great fire. Smoke billowed up. Long Ha said grimly, her voice filled with suppressed fury, "I only wanted to teach you a little lesson at first, but now you have truly driven me mad." Waves of fiery power were surging. A great fire was summoned, wrapping fiercely around Long Ha's body. That was her powerful fire-type bloodline making the air scorching hot, but unexpectedly she suffered a backlash so severe she coughed up fresh blood. Her entire body immediately collapsed onto the grass below with heavy gasps. Tran Vu scratched his head in bewilderment, his eyes wide with surprise. "No way. She collapsed already. You're playing some kind of trick, right? Maybe I should take a look." He carefully examined her and found that she had forcefully channeled her spiritual energy while her mind was unstable, leading to a dangerous key deviation out of haste. As night fell, Tran Vu stopped at an old abandoned temple he carefully carried Long Ha inside and began transferring his true qi to heal her with intense concentration. The entire space became strangely silent. Long Ha wearily kept her eyes shut tight. As the fire chi flared around her body, causing her face to contort in obvious pain, Tran Vu thought to himself, how strange. This young lady has a powerful source of fire spiritual energy in her body, but it doesn't seem to be naturally hers. In the quiet of the late-night moonlight shone gently upon the ancient temple. It created a serene and mysterious atmosphere. Inside, Tran Vu was clearly overexerting himself and becoming unstable. Sweat pouring down like rain, but he persisted because if he were to give up now, this girl would surely die a horrible death now that things have come to this. The only option left is to forcefully devour this flame. No matter how great the risk, the fiery power made the surrounding space as hot as a furnace. He set up another intricate formation, and a mystical, sparkling formation circle appeared. Tran Vu mumbled an incantation, his deep voice echoing limitless Dharma form, "Devour heaven and earth." Her body, enveloped in flames, was lifted high into the air as the fire blazed even more fiercely than before. The soaring temperature made the air tremble. He was deeply concerned. This ancient spiritual qi is too powerful. Can my body and soul even withstand it? The seven-colored Hao began to powerfully absorb the fire energy. Tran Vu was stunned when this treasure suddenly appeared, and his eyes lit up with hope. The seven-colored Hao, it grew larger as it struggled to absorb the flames. He prayed silently, his voice a desperate whisper. "Seven-colored Hao, help me absorb this spiritual qi." In the sky, heavenly lightning crashed down violently, while outside the rain poured down like a waterfall. He was starting to weaken, but he continued to give it his all. "I must get this flame of spiritual qi expelled from my body to be safe." It just so happened to be raining, and raindrops fell on the flame, condensing in Tran Vu's hand, creating a strange sizzling sound. The next morning, gentle sunlight streamed through the old temple window, carrying a soft warmth that chased away the night's chill, allowing Long Ha to awaken. The blinding light made her squint, her body gradually recovering from the crisis. Long Ha sighed to herself. "It's been such a long time since I've been able to sleep so soundly and deeply." Her body felt reborn after a long and tiring night. Suddenly, Long Ha panicked, clutching her clothes tightly, her eyes wide with suspicion as she tried to remember what happened while her consciousness was hazy. What on earth happened here? Could that brat have taken advantage of me while I was unconscious? Long Ha didn't dwell on it and immediately stormed out furiously to find him and settle the score, her indignant voice echoing through the quiet forest. You pervert, get out here right now. If I don't hack you into 100 pieces today, then I'm not worthy of being called this young lady. Suddenly, she was utterly stunned by the sight of the lush forest ahead. It was now completely scorched, looking incredibly bleak and desolate with charred tree trunks strewn about. Tran Vu shook his head confusedly, his eyes sweeping over the chaotic scene in astonishment. What in the world happened here? Tran Vu stood naked in the middle of the forest, stretching comfortably, his body still aching from the previous night's overexertion. I guess I really overdid it yesterday. Seeing Long Ha appear, he waved a friendly greeting with a wide grin on his face. Good morning, Grumpy Pants. She showed no mercy and hurled a massive log right at Tran. Vu's face, with a powerful whoosh, put some clothes on for me. After hastily dressing himself, he asked back, slightly annoyed, his voice a mixture of reproach and helplessness. In this tense atmosphere, how can you have the heart to treat your savior like this? Long Ha replied haughtily, her hands on her hips in a proud and unyielding stance. I never asked you to save me. Besides, you're the one who took advantage of the situation anyway. He reasoned, calmly explaining his actions to justify himself. My spiritual power isn't that profound, so I had to remove some of your clothes to easily draw out the spiritual chi from your body. You see, but there's an extremely aggressive spiritual flame inside your body that even backlashes against its host. Tell me, what is this all about? She explained in detail. Her voice grew heavy and somber as she spoke of her painful past. That spiritual flame was a gift from the heavens, but at the same time it is also a curse. Ever since I was born, I have possessed a fire spiritual chi of unknown origin. It's true this spiritual chi has made my cultivation path somewhat easier. But my body always feels as if it's being burned by fire, and I can never have any loved ones by my side. She had to endure the gossip, I heard that. Even her own parents never dared to embrace her. Is it possible she's possessed by a demon? Just getting near her is enough to turn you into a roasted pig. What a shame for such a beautiful person. Long Ha continued, her voice growing more tragic and lonely as she described her daily torment. It's not just that. I have to soak in cold water for hours every day, otherwise I'll be burned or even consumed by the flame. Tran Vu understood at once, his eyes showing a mixture of sympathy and surprise. No wonder you were nearly consumed. Who told you to run out without soaking long enough? She shot back, her face flushing with anger and embarrassment. You have the nerve to say that. If it weren't for a certain pervert peeping while I was bathing, I wouldn't have ended up in this mess. Tran Vu scratched his head sheepishly, trying to smooth things over tactfully. Well, I did save your life after all, so let's just call it even okay. He even took the chance to gently pinch Long Ha's cheek, and the soft texture surprised him. It's not like you said, huh? On the contrary, it feels really soft. She flew into a rage, her eyes blazing with fury. What? How dare you touch me? Tran Vu looked at his palm, doubtfully, curiosity written all over his face. I think I absorbed that flame of yours, so maybe that's why I don't feel any heat. Long Ha ordered decisively, her voice firm and forbidding any argument. Let's just assume that's the case. But you are still not allowed to touch my face, he retorted bluntly. A mischievous smile on his lips, with a personality as prickly and rude as yours, even if your body were normal. No one would dare approach you anyway, Long Ha boasted proudly, her eyes twinkling as she spoke of her reputation. Excuse me, but at the Spirit Master Academy, do you have any idea how many handsome and talented young masters are pursuing this young lady? You're the only one I'd ever look down on. Tran Vu immediately tried to be friendly, his tone enthusiastic. Oh, so you're from the academy too. I'm actually on my way to join it. How about we become friends? Long Ha reminded him coldly, her voice pragmatic and wary. The academy's entrance exam is extremely competitive. Don't even dream of getting in with just that little bit of cleverness you have, he said proudly, puffing out his chest with confidence. Don't you dare underestimate me. She pointed out his weakness sharply, her eyes scanning him critically. To enroll, you need a spirit beast contract. Do you have one? On this, he had to concede, his voice dropping with worry. I actually haven't managed to tame any spirit beasts yet. This looks like it's going to be a problem. He knew perfectly well that a spirit master could have a maximum of 3 spirit beast contracts, so he couldn't just choose one carelessly. I'll have to think of another way, hey. Long Ha generously gave him an item, her voice holding a trace of gratitude. Take this, consider it a reward for saving me. Tran Vu recognized it at once. His eyes lit up as he recognized its value. This is a soul-binding origin stone. She added, her voice confident in her knowledge, so you do know a thing or two. A soul-binding origin stone can refine weapons and also capture spirit beasts. You should catch a spirit beast before you arrive at the academy. Tran Vu didn't stand on ceremony, a polite smile on his lips. Since you put it that way, I'll gratefully accept. He immediately began to refine it with intense focus. Spiritual energy surged mystically and a bell was formed. The refinement was successful. You understand that charging a Chai origin stone while it is just an ordinary item is nothing strange. But the control technique required is incredibly marvelous and sophisticated when suddenly something shot past her back, moving at an extremely high speed that made the air tremble slightly. Long Ha was utterly terrified, her eyes wide with vigilance. What was that? Such incredible speed, Tran Vu immediately recognized it as a spirit beast. A flash of interest in his eyes. To get a spirit beast, you have to hunt them. He never expected to encounter one in such a remote place. She advised anxiously, her voice a mix of concern and reluctance. You can't be thinking of catching that spirit beast. With your current cultivation level, it's simply impossible. He replied nonchalantly, a confident smile on his face. It's true that I can't catch a spirit beast. But if it's injured, then who knows? On the ground were scattered patches of fresh red blood, Tran Vu confirmed with certainty after a closer look, and its injuries are not light at all. Long Ha thought highly of him, her eyes showing clear admiration. Your observation skills are quite sharp. This spirit beast emitted flashes of lightning. Its eyes glowed with a brilliant and threatening electric light, and its front leg was heavily wounded with blood flowing. He silently assessed it, excitement surging as he realized its potential. Its superior speed and lightning attribute would definitely rank it among the outstanding spirit beasts. With my current cultivation level, this little one is the most perfect choice, Long Ha praised with interest, her voice full of surprise and admiration. A gold-silver heterochromatic swift lightning cat. It seems your luck isn't bad. Tran Vu admitted cheerfully, a radiant smile spreading across his face. It's really not bad. He decisively moved to block its path, his body ready for a confrontation. She reminded him it wants to escape. Her voice rang out as a warning, make your move. Tran Vu lightly rubbed his wrist, confidence brimming in his every gesture. Don't worry, I never let my guard down against an opponent I respect. A stream of power struck the lightning cat's body directly, his expression confident as he controlled the situation, true chi swirling in the palm of Tran Vu's hand, a vortex of spiritual power. It perfectly blocked the lightning cat's path, Long Ha thought with admiration, a surge of awe rising within her. What a perfect combination without a single wasted move. Just how many secrets does this guy have that I don't know about? Just then, someone suddenly interrupted, an angry voice echoing from behind. Who gave you permission to steal my prey, huh? He asked suspiciously, his eyes scanning the stranger with vigilance. Chan Can Society, the name of a restaurant that's about to open. Long Ha explained in detail, her voice low and serious as she mentioned the dangerous organization. The Chan Can Society is an organization that specializes in assassinating spirit masters. Then they absorb their cultivation and seize their spirit. Chi Ha Mok introduced himself arrogantly, his eyes flashing with a hateful killing intent. I am from the Chan Can Society and also the son of Elder Ham. I've been chasing that silver-gold heterochromatic thundercat for 7 days and 7 nights just to injure it like this. I never thought some brat like you would brazenly steal it. You're pissing me off. Go die. Long Ha coldly drew a line, her voice unwavering. You were the one who stole his prey, so I will not interfere in this matter, Long Ha thought to herself. Worry surged as she carefully observed the opponent. He is a full 5 cultivation levels higher than that guy, and he doesn't even have a contracted spirit beast to assist him. Could he really be planning to fight him head-on so recklessly? He spoke scornfully, his tone full of sarcasm and indifference echoing through the quiet forest. Chan Can Society, that's a nice-sounding name. To think it's actually a group of people who specialize in doing evil deeds with dirty tricks. Ha Mok immediately launched a powerful palm strike, the surging spiritual power making the air vibrate violently. Shut your stinking mouth. Tran Vu deftly leaned aside to dodge his body, moving as nimbly as a breeze passing through the scorching flames. Is that all you've got? He casually condensed power at his fingertips, a light flashing with confidence and provocation. The real show is yet to come. Flames shot past him at an astonishing speed. Ha Mok launched several massive fireballs that descended upon where they stood, the flames exploding with a deafening boom. His tone was filled with arrogance, his eyes flashing with a contemptuous gaze. Are you scared yet? This is the ultimate technique. I spent half a year painstakingly practicing the lightning pear blossom lock formation. Anyone trapped by this formation will be cut into tiny pieces, tightly surrounded by streams of lightning. They were utterly shocked by the unexpected power that enveloped them. What the hell is this? Let me out! The power from Long Ha's whip It pierced through the lightning fiercely, but the spirit chi dissipated uselessly into the hot air. Hamak laughed mockingly, his derisive laughter echoing. "It's useless. Don't bother resisting anymore, you fool. What a waste of a good pill. Now die." Flames erupted from mid-air, spreading out in all directions around them, the fire expanding to create a fierce wall of fire that made the air hot and difficult to breathe. She was completely enraged and shouted. Her voice was filled with indignation mixed with killing intent. "You're really courting death," but Tran Vu remained surprisingly calm. He slowly walked amidst the circle of fire without flinching. "Calm down. It wasn't easy to quell the fire inside. You don't create more work for me." Long Ha was astonished as she looked at the firepower radiating from his body. Her eyes widened in disbelief at the strange sight. He can still mobilize spirit chi. What kind of sorcery is this? Tran Vu calmly released a powerful stream of true chi. The spiritual power surged like a raging river, that so-called lightning flower whatnot lock right. The binding forces trapping him were easily bent outwards, the space trembling slightly with the push. Hamak laughed gleefully, his eyes flashing with blind confidence. "You fool. Your arm is about to be crushed into many pieces." But when the stream of true chi got close to him, he was so shocked that his face turned deathly pale. What 5 fists wrapped in golden true chi shot out with immense power. He was immediately hit head-on, his teeth scattering on the ground with a horrific crash. Hamak's body flew straight back towards the line of trees behind the impact, so strong it snapped a tree trunk in two with a resounding crack. Tran Vu satisfyingly rubbed his wrist, a pleased smile on his face. "After the beautiful striker, using my fists feels so comfortable?" Long Ha asked with great curiosity. Her gaze swept over him with a mixture of suspicion and admiration. Although he looks like a fool, his strength far surpasses that of other ordinary people. Furthermore, why isn't he affected by the side effects of the blood toad pill? Who on earth is this person? He questioned angrily, his voice trembling with rage. As he tried to get up from the rubble, "You dare to hit me? Do you have any idea who I am, huh?" Tran Vu gave the guy's cheek a hard pinch, the force just enough to cause pain without being too cruel. "Let me have a say, okay?" He screamed in pain, his face contorted in surprise. He stated clearly, his tone calm but filled with sharp logic as he listed each point. "First, I don't care who you are. As long as you speak arrogantly, I will hit you. Second, even if you were the one who injured that cat, since I snatched it, it's mine, winner takes all. Isn't this rule perfectly clear? Third, am I right?" Hamak admitted reluctantly, his voice trembling with fear as he realized the tables had turned. "You're right, I was wrong. You are my father. Just spare my life. I'll do anything for you from now on." Tran Vu agreed immediately, a mischievous smile appearing at the corner of his mouth. "Spare your life. Sure, that's fine. However, the price for that is quite high, you know." He turned pale with fear, a bad feeling rising in his chest that made him sweat profusely. The price he stripped the guy completely, to the point where not a single scrap of clothing was left to cover him, everything shamelessly exposed in the daylight. This young master brought quite a lot of things, huh? Everything that could be looted was now displayed before him. Tran Vu knew the details of some of these items, his eyes flashing with deep understanding. Soft bone powder illusionary drug. 7 times a night pill. It seems you rogue have acquired some nasty items. A 4-pattern heaven-opening axe and a pseudo-chi pill. It can enhance the attack power of a spirit beast. Long Ha thought with admiration, a sense of awe rising as she listened to his analysis. There are some items that even I have never heard of. Yet he knows them like the back of his hand, this guy. His foresight is truly remarkable. Hamak's eyes held a venomous and calculating glint. He stealthily took out a hidden weapon. While being restrained, he actually dared to strip me. "You will pay the price." Then Hamak brought the hidden weapon to his mouth and blew hard the needle inside, shooting out at an incredible speed. "I will let you know the terror of the bone-devouring poison needle. Your throat will fill with blood. Your entire body will rot a fate worse than death." The needle shot swiftly towards Tran Vu, carrying a cold, killing intent. He turned and asked calmly, his voice maintaining a startling composure. "Is this your command token?" The needle struck the command token precisely and immediately bounced back towards the shooter in a perfect reverse trajectory. Tran Vu was still bewildered, his eyes wide with surprise at the unexpected situation. "What the heck is this?" That needle plunged right into Hamak's thigh. He was so tense he broke out in a cold sweat. Then a scream of pain echoed through the forest. Hamak turned tail and fled miserably. As his figure disappeared into the bushes, "You stinky brat, you just wait, this isn't over yet." He shook his head in confusion, his voice tinged with a bit of helplessness. "I didn't intend to kill him. He must have the antidote himself." Zhen Wu carefully collected all the treasures and said, his voice returning to its normal, decisive tone, back to the main topic. Continue choosing, get ready to set off again, Long Ha reminded immediately, her gaze sweeping over him with concern. Where is your spirit beast contract? He raised the spirit pouch proudly. A radiant smile on his face. It's in here. 3 hours later, they moved to a rugged mountainous area with treacherous terrain and large scattered boulders. She revealed the details, her voice filled with pride as she pointed towards the towering peak. This is Victorious Mountain. The True Spirit Master Academy is located right at the summit. Zhenwu praised in admiration, his eyes lighting up as he gazed at the majestic scenery, the mountain slopes like a silver sash, the wind cool and fresh. Not bad, not bad. The feng shui here is excellent at this time. Many cultivators had already gathered, the noise echoing across the mountainside. Get out of the way, what a waste of our time. An arrogant man blocked the middle of the mountain path, his body obstructing the way with a clear look of contempt. If you want to go up the mountain to register, you must first know your own strength. Especially if you don't have a spirit beast contract or have a trashy spirit beast, you should get lost on your own accord. The Supreme Spirit Master Academy is the #1 academy in the world. Those who can enroll are either dragons or phoenixes. An ordinary person like you should go home and play in the mud. Don't come here just to lose face, hello? Zhenwu asked calmly, his voice unwavering in the face of the provocation. Is this the first round of the examination? Long Ha replied briefly, her eyes glancing over the crowd with familiarity. It's just a little screening. Mainly to eliminate people like you. Obviously, without a spirit beast, yet wanting to be a smart aleck, he understood immediately, a mischievous smile appearing on his lips. It seems senior sister is certain that I don't have a spirit beast then. Let's make a bet. She cut him off sharply, her voice full of irritation. Cut it out. Don't try to claim a connection with me. I am not your senior sister. Zhenwu pushed his luck, his voice full of provocation and confidence. If I can pass this round, then you have to pursue me. How about it? Don't misunderstand. It's just that I heard many people are pursuing you. If you start admiring me now, they will voluntarily give up and stop bothering you, right? Long Ha had to admit in her heart a surge of surprise mixed with impression. You are quite a daring brat. To dare make such a request of me, let me tell you my true identity this young lady is. He asked calmly, his eyes flashing with curiosity. You are what she didn't make it difficult anymore, her voice becoming more pleasant. Forget it. You won't win this bet anyway. I agree. Zhenwu stepped forward and exclaimed clearly, his voice echoing confidently through the crowd. This humble one, Tapieu, wishes to register, he replied immediately. His eyes flashed with hostility as he eavesdropped on the conversation. Kid, I just heard you and junior sister Long talking. Not only do you not have a spirit beast contract, but you also dare to covet her beauty. This is truly intolerable. Bristlehair Blue Wolf, go tear him to shreds for me. Long Ha stepped in to intervene, her voice full of reluctant worry. Zhang Daju, don't kill him. Zhenwu shook his head in confusion. His eyes scanned the chaotic situation. I just want to register, that's all. Why are you so aggressive? He also began to chant to summon his spirit beast, his deep voice echoing mysteriously, spirit wind flowing rain, 4 ghosts ride the moment spirit art manifests. Beast core. Ghostly fate ahead. The blue wolf suddenly emitted a dazzlingly bright stream of lightning, the air vibrating with each electric spark. A lightning cat fiercely lunged at its opponent. As if wanting to tear it apart brutally, the stream of lightning flashed through the air, splattering blood horrifically. Daju's jaw dropped in terror at this sight. His face turned pale with shock. He screamed in panic, his voice trembling, my bristlehair blue wolf, this isn't a spirit beast, this is a demon beast. He's using demonic arts, don't let him run catch him in the meantime. Someone observing this was filled with interest, their eyes shining with curiosity. A spirit-driving incantation. Why does he know a Grandmaster-level technique? This person is a bit interesting. The mountain range here was towering with thick layers of clouds, creating a mystical and majestic atmosphere. Daju's blue wolf had been killed in an instant. Its body lay motionless on the rocky ground. He slapped his own face in despair, fresh blood trickling from the corner of his mouth amidst heavy gasps, his body staggering about to fall. Causing the 2 junior brothers beside him to hurriedly support him, calling out worriedly. Senior brother Zhenwu's fingers were wrapped in several sparkling arcs of lightning, his perfect control making the air vibrate slightly. The lightning cat obediently appeared beside him, its posture majestic and powerful. He spoke calmly, a victorious smile evident. Senior brother, now you believe I have a spirit beast, right? Long Ha was utterly astonished. Her eyes wide as she witnessed the unexpected power. It clearly had no substance. Yet its attack power was incredibly formidable. The others buzzed with discussion. Whispers spread through the crowd. What kind of spirit beast is this? The expert Daju asked through gritted teeth. humiliation welling up in his eyes. You dare kill my spirit beast." Jen Wu replied sarcastically, his voice full of taunt and confidence. "How ignorant. If your contracted spirit beast dies, you would surely not be alive. You're just heavily injured. You'll be fine after 2 months of care." He felt utterly humiliated and commanded angrily, his voice echoing, "Go kill him for me!" Just as the junior brothers were about to charge forward aggressively, their bodies suddenly froze. Their feet were gradually freezing over, with ice spreading rapidly. Terrified screams rang out in horror. A chilling air enveloped them. "My feet are frozen." Suo Ran appeared unexpectedly, his imposing presence silencing the crowd, defeated by a newcomer, and you still won't admit defeat. Moreover, you're using numbers to bully the weak, aren't you ashamed? The appearance of this person made Jen Wu think deeply, his eyes scanning with vigilance, an ice elemental technique. It seems it wasn't done by his spirit beast. Could it be an invisible spirit beast that I can't see? Daju immediately complained, his voice full of grievance and anger. "Brother Ran, my bristle-hair blue wolf was chopped into pieces. I can't let this go." Suo Ran commanded coldly, his authoritative voice echoing on the cold, rocky mountainside. His eyes swept over the crowd with clear contempt. "And give this useless bum a slap. If you don't have the skills, then shut your mouth." The 2 junior brothers anxiously rushed to his side, their faces pale with panic, as they saw their senior brother lying unconscious on the rocky ground, Brother Daju. This person introduced himself to Jen Wu. Formally, his posture upright with the air of a vice head of the year I am, Xiao Suo ran the 3rd-year vice head of the True Spirit Master Academy. He replied immediately, a friendly smile on his face amidst the tense atmosphere. "Tapu, a pleasure to meet you, since I've already proven I have a spirit beast. May I go up the mountain?" He reminded sharply, his eyes flashing with deep suspicion as he carefully observed the spirit beast beside him. "You might be able to fool those guys with that trick. But I'm not so easily deceived. This spirit beast of yours is just a soul illusion simulating a spirit beast's core." "Right." Suo Ran's spirit beast was summoned quickly, its body radiating a cold aura that caused the surrounding air temperature to drop suddenly. He blocked the path resolutely, his voice full of warning, daring to come to Victorious Mountain to deceive and impersonate. "How could I let you go?" He thought to himself with worry tension rising as he realized the nature of the problem. It's indeed an ice-charmed silver fox. Although it's true that the lightning element can counter ice, this is just a soul illusion. This is going to be a bit tiring. Suo Ran chanted, urging his spirit beast on spiritual power flowing mystically from his body. The silver fox leaped up and stood defensively in front of Jen Wu. Chunks of ice shot towards him, causing him to struggle to dodge continuously. The sound of cracking ice echoed across the mountainside. Long Ha was utterly stunned, her eyes wide with surprise. Witnessing the unexpected power in a dry environment with no water, he could create an ice pillar of that size in just an instant. "I'm afraid Suo Ran is about to break through to level 30. If this continues, I'll have to intervene." Jen Wu challenged bravely, his voice ringing out confidently amidst the icy siege. "Since it has come to this, let's have a little contest." Lightning shot towards the silver fox's body with incredible speed. The dazzling flash of electricity made the space vibrate. Suo Ran began to act decisively. His hands swung up with power. The fun should be over, but he was deeply shaken when he saw snowflakes starting to fall before his eyes on the mountain. It threw everyone into utter confusion. The air suddenly turned bone-chillingly cold. "What's happening? Why is it suddenly snowing?" Suo Ran is frozen. Did he suffer a backlash? Jen Wu's jaw dropped in astonishment, his eyes sweeping over the strange scene. The weather has changed. From mid-air, someone elegantly flicked a fan, releasing a frigid ice storm that enveloped the entire area. He thought with annoyance, a sense of helplessness welling up inside him as he faced another obstacle. "Why do these nether soldiers keep stopping me from reaching the summit?" The other cultivators recognized him immediately, whispers spreading with excitement and awe. "It's Master Jisong Rui, one of the 8 divine generals of the Spirit Master Academy, the Ice Blaze Spirit Master Jisong Rui. Oh my God, I get to see him in person. His appearance is absolutely stunning." Jisong Rui stepped forward and asked calmly. His imposing presence silenced the crowd in awe. "Are you here to enroll?" Jen Wu replied decisively, without beating around the bush, his voice straightforward and confident. "That's right." The man quickly concluded, a satisfied smile appearing at the corner of his mouth. "Very good, then, you will be my personal disciple." Inwardly, he thought to himself, curiosity surging as he sensed a familiar aura for some unknown reason. There's an incredibly familiar aura about him. This made the others gasp in admiration, whispers spreading across the mountainside. What a personal disciple. Did I hear that right? A personal disciple can do whatever they want at the academy. I'm so envious. Each master can only choose one personal disciple every 5 years. Did that guy Piao save the entire primordial continent in his past life or something? The ice on Suo Ran's body finally shattered into pieces with a dry, unpleasant cracking sound. Song Rui asked Suo Ran gently, his voice low and warm, yet full of authority. What do you mean by that? He forced a smile and replied, his face still pale from the cold and shock. If Master Ji has spoken, Suo Ran will not say another word. Junior Brother Bai is exceptionally talented. He is beyond comparison with others. To be noticed by Master Ji is a fortune of 3 lifetimes. In his heart, Suo Ran had already marked this blatant violation of the Academy's rules. Just wait until I get back and report this to the Nobles' Council. You just wait to be humiliated. Zhenwu spoke coldly, his voice firm and unyielding. Hold on. This matter of accepting a disciple can't be a forced transaction. I don't agree. Stunned gasps erupted from the crowd, everyone's eyes wide with disbelief. What, you don't agree? Are you insane or something, so many of those bastard nobles? Disciples from prestigious families beg to become his student and can't even get a chance. It's being handed to you on a silver platter and you don't want it. What are you thinking? Song Rui calmly asked again, his voice remaining surprisingly composed amidst the chaos. Why don't you want to take me as your master? The boy thought to himself. Anxiety surged as he tried to find a reasonable excuse. I have to come up with some reason. Otherwise, these people will be gawking again. Too much admiration is also a hassle. Zhenwu hesitated for a moment, his eyes scanning the crowd. Then he finally relaxed, having thought of the perfect reason. Zhenwu spoke clearly and confidently, his voice echoing, causing everyone present to fall silent in utter shock. You are not qualified to be my master. Don't misunderstand. I mean that in this entire world, no one is qualified to be my master. This made everyone present fall completely silent, the atmosphere suddenly becoming heavy and tense. Long. He blushed with second-hand embarrassment, her hands clenched tightly. If it weren't for Master Ji, everyone here would have beaten you to a pulp. He asked back, curiously, innocence evident on his face. Why would they beat me? Song Rui wasn't angry at all, a gentle smile playing on his lips. That's a legitimate reason, isn't it? However, I also have a reason that might make you reconsider. I can use my position to let you enter the Heavenly Spirit Cave to choose a contracted spirit beast. Suo Ran was utterly astonished, his eyes wide with surprise. He wasn't sure what the Heavenly Spirit Cave was. Curiosity welled up in his eyes. Long, he explained in detail, her voice filled with pride for the Academy's secret. For thousands of years, the Academy's predecessors have captured rare spirit beasts from all over and raised them in the Heavenly Spirit Cave. This is a secret of the Spirit Master Academy. Outsiders don't know about it. He approached the master and whispered worriedly. His voice was lowered to avoid being overheard by the crowd. Master Ji, the Academy rules state that only the most outstanding disciples from the assessment can, Song Rui replied calmly. His voice was firm and unwavering. The headmaster once gave me a chance to enter the Heavenly Spirit Cave. Consider it me giving that chance to him. Zhenwu pondered deeply, his eyes flashing with a clear calculation of the benefits. If I can choose a contracted spirit beast in the Heavenly Spirit Cave, it would save a lot of effort, wouldn't it? Then I'll accept you as my master. Anyway, having a backer will save me a lot of trouble at the academy later. Before Zhenwu could even agree, the master called out enthusiastically, "Follow me!" He led the way with an imposing air. Long, he still couldn't process what had just happened. Her eyes were wide with astonishment as she watched their retreating figures. Is this kid really that lucky? She followed them, reminding them seriously, her voice tinged with a bit of irritation. Accepting a master requires at least a proper ceremony with 3 kneelings and 9 kowtows. You're being way too casual about this, he replied playfully, a mischievous smile on his lips. You didn't say anything earlier, why do you care now? Suo Ran continued to harbor a grudge, his resentment growing. Hatred surged as he watched them leave. Daring to use your status as a master to blatantly break the rules. You just wait. A sudden announcement boomed across the assessment area. Enrolling disciples, after receiving your number plates, please proceed to the corresponding training hall for a spirit power assessment. Undergo the assessment. The crowd of cultivators began to murmur anxiously, their dissatisfied complaints echoing. Damn it, nobody told me there would be so many people here. I've been waiting for 3 hours already. It's taken too long. This young master can come and go as he pleases, even in the Imperial City. And now I have to wait. Song Rui went to the testing area and said decisively, his authoritative voice silencing the staff member. He is my personal disciple. He doesn't need to be tested. Wu was filled with admiration, his eyes lighting up as he looked around the magnificent academy, truly worthy of being the #1 academy in the world. Long he approached the master and bowed formally to take her leave, her posture respectful and proper. This disciple has other matters to attend to. I will take my leave now. Before she left, he deliberately said with a mischievous tone. A wide grin spread across his face. Senior Sister Long, don't forget we made a bet. Song Rui smiled and exclaimed with amusement, his voice echoing softly. Long he is famous in the academy for her fiery temper. To dare speak to her so casually without getting beaten. You're the first one. The boy was just learning this now. Surprise was written all over his face. That's an exaggeration, isn't it? Wu still couldn't find a satisfactory answer, curiosity swelling in his heart. What exactly did you see in me that made you so determined to take me? As a disciple, the master replied vaguely, his voice deepening with nostalgia. You remind me of an old friend who was very important to me. Let's not talk about it anymore. I'll take you to your dormitory. The boy felt a chill inwardly, suspicion creeping in as he thought about the master's intentions. What's with all this mystery? This guy doesn't have any weird hobbies, does he? Night fell. In Song Rui's dream, the atmosphere suddenly turned gloomy, heavy, and threatening. A group of people were menacingly threatening him, their voices echoing with a cold, killing intent. You're the only one left, and you still refuse to submit to me? I'll give you one last chance to join us, or else you'll die. He resolutely refused, his voice ringing out, filled with righteousness and defiance. The three of you betrayed the spirit. God massacred everyone and conspired to steal the divine artifact. As long as I have a single breath left in me, I will not let you have your way. They unleashed their killing intent, launching 3 powerful palm strikes. The surging spirit power made the space tremble violently. Then we'll just have to kill you. That terrifying dream caused Ji-Song Rui to jolt awake suddenly in the dead of the silent night. His body was drenched in a cold sweat, even though the surrounding air was still chilly from his ice elemental cold energy. He sat up in alarm, breathing heavily with unease as the old memories rushed back like an indelible nightmare. It's been so long. But I still often dream of that scene. The 6 gods of that year met a tragic end, their souls scattered, descending to the mortal realm to be reborn. Only I, coincidentally, found my spirit energy again and remembered the painful and loss-filled memories of my past life. I don't know where the other 5 of you are now. Moreover, I don't know if the spirit god even has a chance to be revived. From outside the door, a soft but clear knocking sound broke the silence of the night. Master, are you in there? Song Rui's calm voice called out from within, still holding its familiar authority. Come in. Jie Mian entered with his usual arrogant demeanor. Her eyes sparkled with curiosity and competitiveness upon hearing the news. I've only been gone for 1 month. And I already heard that you took on a new disciple. Where is he? I must see if he is worthy of being my junior brother. In her hand, she carried an exquisite gift box, and the faint aroma of tea filled the room. This is some tea that Father asked me to bring for you, Master. I know Master does not accept gifts, but since I have already brought it, please accept it. Songruk did not refuse, and accepted it with a gentle smile on his stern face. Please convey my thanks to your father. By the way, how is the task I assigned you? She replied in detail, her voice tinged with a hint of disappointment as she reported the investigation's results. I have investigated my father's records from recent years regarding the discovery of spiritual energy on the primordial continent. But I have not found any suspicious spiritual energy like you described. He lifted his teacup and asked pensively, the warm steam from the cup spreading through the cold air. Is that so? He thought doubtfully, anxiety creeping in as he considered the worst-case scenario. Could their spiritual energy have scattered in the mortal realm and then immediately dissipated in the desolate mountains and wild forests? Oh, she suddenly remembered, her eyes lighting up as she recalled a surprising discovery. However, I did find a white-colored spiritual energy. Although it was of the lowest rank, its color was somewhat similar to the one in the painting you showed me. Where is that spiritual energy? He immediately pressed his voice, growing urgent with a surge of interest. Giat Mian shyly bowed her head. Her cheeks flushed slightly with embarrassment as she admitted, I gave it to a friend. But its shape was very different. It is probably not the type you are looking for. I see. That makes sense. His voice returned to its calm state as he dismissed the suspicion. It is unlikely to be a white-colored spiritual energy. Go and get some rest now. Tomorrow I will take you to meet your junior brother, she replied arrogantly, her hands on her hips with confidence and dissatisfaction. No, as his senior, he should be the one to come and greet me. I will not go to meet him. She thought back to the resentful past jealousy creeping in as she compared herself to the new junior brother. At first, you would not even accept me as a disciple. This guy must be smarter than me to have caught Master's eye. Then Gyat Mien acted cute, her voice sweet and coquettish. Master, I was wondering if you could help me pass a message to my junior brother tomorrow. That my junior brother is. At that moment, Chan Vu was just leaving a pizza shop feeling satisfied. The scent of baked dough still lingered around him amidst the bustling academy atmosphere. I cannot believe the academy even has pizza. This dish has truly conquered the entire primordial continent with its deliciousness. The cheerful waiter saw him off with a radiant smile, his voice full of enthusiasm. Please come again, esteemed customer. Just then he caught sight of a figure in black stealthily flying over a wall, their silhouette hazy under the moonlight. The person hid on the rooftop. They carefully observed their surroundings with high alert. A mocking and surprised voice rang in the night infiltrator's ear. To dare to steal in the Spirit Master Academy, you have got some nerve. Are you a cat burglar? She immediately launched 3 sharp hidden weapons which shot towards her opponent with terrifying speed. Chan Vu easily blocked them all with his fist. The hidden weapons were stopped firmly by his true chi, unable to penetrate even slightly. He then pursued the night infiltrator at lightning speed, his feet moving nimbly across the rooftops. Still trying to run, Chan Vu grabbed a firm hold of the person's cloak. The cloak was ripped off, revealing the person's true appearance under the dim light. Chan Vu silently assessed. A mix of surprise and admiration welled up inside him. This kid looks pretty good. She carelessly stepped onto a formation on the ground beneath her feet. She froze in terror, realizing the overwhelming danger. This is it, I am done for. The formation condensed into a band of crimson, murderous energy. The churning spiritual power made the air vibrate violently. Song-ruk sensed it immediately, his eyes flashing with vigilance. As his spiritual sense swept over the area, he thought someone has broken into that place again. Chan Vu was utterly shocked, his eyes wide as he witnessed the formation's power. Why would the Spirit Master Academy set up a heaven-burning, soul-shattering formation here? There is definitely something wrong. This formation is incredibly cruel. Once caught in it, one's spiritual energy is completely imprisoned, making movement impossible, and they are burned to death in agony. So he rescued the girl just before the formation's killing intent rushed forward. His arms quickly wrapped around her body, catching her in his embrace. Chan Vu let out a sigh of relief. His breath mingled with the night air. Luckily, she is only unconscious. A wary voice called out from a distance, followed by the sound of rushing footsteps. It was the people coming to check on the activated formation. An intruder has entered the forbidden courtyard. There is no one in the formation. Their accomplice must have saved them. Saved, but probably close to death. They must still be hiding nearby. Surround this area and search it thoroughly for me. Tense shouts echoed everywhere along with the sound of hurried footsteps through the alleys. Not here. Not over here either. Nothing. One of them pondered strangely, his voice full of suspicion. Did they grow wings and fly away, or did they sneak into the treasure pavilion? Near the wall, a pile of firewood was scattered with some suspicious debris. The soft rustle of leaves was heard. A few of them went on high alert, focusing on that direction with their spiritual energy ready to be unleashed. Chan Vu hid discreetly behind the wall. He thought worriedly as he felt the killing intent surround them. This is bad. It looks like we are about to be discovered. He held the girl tighter in his arms, his hand accidentally landing on her chest. The soft feeling from his palm made Chan Vu blush furiously in that unexpected moment. This feeling. It is a girl. She also began to regain consciousness, her eyes slowly opening to find herself held tightly by someone. Nan Mai was utterly horrified when she realized the situation. She immediately turned her head to see who would dare do this to her. Her eyes flashed with killing intent. He quickly and skillfully covered her mouth, his voice a warning whisper. Wait for my signal before you move. If you want to live, do as I say. Nan Mai reluctantly agreed, her body still trembling from being unconscious. Chan Vu began to calculate the details in his head. His intense concentration made his eyes gleam. It has been a while since I have used that move. Today I will give them a little fun. He skillfully used the soft bone technique, his body flickering in and out of existence as he left like a ghost in the dark night. She thought in amazement, a surge of curiosity about his identity rising within her. Who on earth is he? The other disciples were terrified when they saw the figure vanish, their shouts echoing. Bai Xiao Yu, where are you? Who is making all that noise out there? They aggressively blocked Chan Vu, who was trying to rush in, their voices filled with anger. What are you doing? How dare you barge into a restricted area? Do you have a death wish? He replied calmly, his voice filled with feigned worry. I am looking for my friend. It seems like she ran in this direction. Bai Xiaoyu, where are you? I know I was wrong. Please do not be angry anymore. One of them decisively ordered the others to seize him. The sound of firewood falling in a corner of the wall was heard. The group of disciples turned their attention to the movement in the dark alley. Nan Mai stepped out shyly, her demeanor bashful and well-acted. I am here. Chanvu quickly ran towards her, much to the others' confusion. His eyes looked at her with great concern. I found you. Why are your clothes so torn? Who bullied you? She replied with a trembling voice, her eyes glistening as if she were about to cry. I ran in here because I was trying to get away from you. Suddenly, a few black shadows fell from the sky, followed by a blinding flash of light. After that, I do not remember anything. Chanvu draped his coat over her and gently pulled her into an embrace. The warmth from his body spread to her. It is okay now. I will take you to see my master and have him check on you. Chak Pham feigned understanding, his eyes scanning the two of them with suspicion. All right, stop the act. I have never seen either of you in the academy before. Tell me, who are you? Chanvu immediately announced his identity, his voice full of confidence and authority. You dare to question a direct disciple of Master Shuangyi? Are you tired of living? He was completely stunned, his eyes wide with surprise. A direct disciple of Master Ji, but doesn't his master only have? A disciple behind him whispered. I heard that Master Ji came down the mountain specifically to accept a new disciple today. Could it be that you are... He clearly stated his name. The guy then whispered, Boss, they look more like a couple of lovers. It seems the real thief has already escaped. Master Ji is famous for being overprotective of his own. If we offend him, I am afraid we will be in deep trouble. Chanvu asked a bit impatiently, his voice carrying a slight threat. Are you done discussing? Do you need me to call my master over to talk to you? That Chak Pham guy immediately became friendly, a forced smile on his face. No. There is no need to bother him over such a small matter. It was all a misunderstanding. You two, please. He successfully led the person away at a leisurely pace. Consider yourselves lucky you have good judgment. Behind them, he plotted maliciously, resentment surging in his eyes. Regardless of the reason, trespassing in a restricted area is a serious crime. Tomorrow, I will definitely report this to the headmaster. Once they reached a safe place, Nan Mai asked carefully, her voice low and suspicious. You are a student at this academy, right? You must have known there was a trap in there, did you not? That courtyard looks normal at first glance. But it is actually the place that holds the Spirit Master Academy's biggest secret. Her expression turned grim and dangerous, her eyes flashing with a cold, murderous light. The dagger in Nan Mai's hand gleamed under the moonlight. The sharp blade reflected the light. He asked curiously, innocence clear on his face while his back was still turned towards her. What secret? She immediately grabbed a knife and charged forward, intending a surprise attack, but the seven-colored Empress unleashed her power, perfectly blocking the dangerous blow, sending Nan Mai flying backward with a crash. The sound echoed as Chanvu spoke in disappointment, his voice filled with helplessness and regret. I kindly saved you. Yet now you repay kindness with enmity, she snarled in response. Her fury surged, despite the pain in her body. All who humiliate me must die. I may be injured now, but one day I will kill you to wash away this shame. Took few, I will remember you, he thought wearily, a bitter smile on his lips. What an energetic young lady. The next day, Chanvu was still deep in thought about last night's events. His eyes gazed into the distance, filled with turmoil. The seven-colored Empress has saved me 2 times. I must thank Giat Men for this. He just did not know when he would see her again. Suddenly, someone called out from behind him. Unexpectedly, a familiar voice rang out. Where are you going? Seeing Song Ruk behind him, he hastily made an excuse with a forced smile on his face. I was looking for something to eat, then went for a walk and got lost. The old man reminded him seriously. His voice lowered with a warning. This academy holds many secrets. You had best not wander around to avoid bringing trouble upon yourself. Then Song Ruk handed Chanvu a letter, who took it curiously and asked immediately. His eyes sparkled with curiosity. What is this? The old man revealed calmly, his voice full of meaning. A letter from your senior sister. She wants to meet you for a bit tomorrow. Chanvu curiously opened the letter, surprise welling up. I actually have a senior sister. Inside was a map with detailed instructions. He looked closely with a frown. She wants me to climb over several mountains. What on earth does senior sister want? Do not tell me she wants me to run this far just to meet her. Song Ruk replied gently, a faint smile on his lips. I have not asked her what to do specifically. She only gave you 4 words. Be careful of your safety. Tran Vu's heart trembled as a bad premonition crept in. The next morning, he cautiously arrived at the meeting point amidst the treacherous terrain. Choosing such a dangerous place, senior sister must have another plan. I should call her out first. Tran Vu gathered his strength and called out loudly, "Senior sister." The echo reverberated noisily throughout the mountains from a cave below. Many crimson eyes watched fiercely, then a horde of terrifying beasts charged out. Giat Min, hiding secretly behind a tree, thought smugly with excitement. Daring to be in the Silver Fur Beast territory on Ape Mountain now, there is a good show to watch. To become my junior brother, you must pass the test. An adult Silver Fur is equivalent to a level M Spirit Master. It is not life-threatening, but enough to make him panic. Let's go see. Hearing a strange sound, she opened her eyes wide in surprise. This sound, is he that unlucky? Seeing the horde of silver furs charging madly, Tran Vu realized in terror, panic welling up. I am dead, the territory of the silver fur beasts on Ape Mountain. I understand she wants me to fight. My apologies, everyone, I will explain later. His eyes flashed with a sudden burst of power. Now go to sleep for a bit. Giat Min excitedly collected spirit stones, her hands full of sparkling rocks. I did not know this mountain had such a treasure. They can refine high-grade spiritual chi blood crystals. I am rich. Suddenly, a series of loud bangs erupted. She broke into a cold sweat in fear. Danger, a horde of golden furs went berserk and charged forward, terrifyingly equivalent to level 30 spirit masters. Meanwhile, Tran Vu had neatly dealt with the silver furs. Satisfied, he smiled confidently. Not bad, the surprise thunder chain attack really worked. Time to settle the score with my hospitable senior sister. From a distance, a panicked scream echoed as Giat Min ran for her life. Junior brother, run? She stopped short, shocked to see him standing there. He took down all the silver furs without a scratch. As their eyes met, they exclaimed in unison. It is you? He asked cheerfully. It is a small world. I cannot believe we have the same master. Giat Min reminded him urgently. No time to talk. We are facing a muscular and aggressive golden fur with terrifying killing intent. Tran Vu was speechless and helpless. A test that involves a golden fur, you are too cruel. He said seriously and protectively, get behind me. He knew that the golden fur was fiercely protective of its young, and was worried. Even with his calm cultivation, he feared he could not win. The golden fur easily lifted a giant boulder and threw it with terrifying speed. His eyes were firm, unwavering. He picked up Giat Min and quickly moved away from danger, landing in a safe spot. Keeping his distance, he retreated further back. Both were tense under the golden fur's power. They suddenly fell off a cliff, the wind whistling past their ears. He reached out and grabbed Giat Min, who was falling ahead of him. They fell with a splash into the river below. She sank without reacting in the strong current. Her wrist was held firmly as he pulled her close and forcefully brought her to the surface. The current is strong. Hold on tight to me. She regretted the blood crystals and would not let go. They were both swept into a cave. Dizzily, he helped her ashore, carefully sighing in relief. Hang in there. We are safe now. She looked on regretfully, her eyes shimmering with frustration. All the blood crystals are gone. I am so mad, all that risk for nothing. Waiting for her to vent, he asked calmly and curiously, where are we? Outside was a beautiful landscape of green mountains and blue water. Giat Min's eyes widened in amazement. We were swept into the Heavenly Spirit Cave. There is an underground river that connects to this place. He was excited and beaming. The Heavenly Spirit Cave Master mentioned it. What a coincidence. She warned him seriously. This is a restricted area of the Academy. No entry without permission. Do not wander around. Tran Vu chose to be practical. After swimming, they came out to 2 cave entrances. He continued excitedly, Master promised to take me to the Heavenly Spirit Cave to choose a spirit beast. I will take this opportunity, she interrupted worriedly. Do not celebrate too soon. The spirit beasts here are at least at the 5th stage of the yellow rank, and they get stronger the deeper you go. With your cultivation level, can you even catch one? Do not overestimate yourself. Tran Vu asked probingly, his eyes shining yellow rank. Giat Min was surprised and astonished. You do not even know the spirit beast ranks. He was secretly shocked. She explained the ranking system from the mortal realm in knowledgeable detail, starting with the 4. The ranks are Heaven, Earth, Mystic, and Yellow, each with 9 stages. There are 10 attributes. Metal, Wood, Water, Fire, Earth, Wind, Lightning, Ice, Light, and Shadow. Using their counters is very effective. Tran Vu stared blankly ahead. I roughly understand. Let us see what rank this spirit beast is. Seeing the giant python, Giat Min's face paled in terror. Danger. It is an icy giant python, 6th stage of the yellow rank. Meanwhile, Nan Mai escaped and returned to find her superior, hastily kneeling to admit her fault with regret. I was incompetent and failed to enter secret location 7. Please punish me, my lord, the master coldly and authoritatively instructed. Be patient and wait for the opportunity. Your recklessness almost ruined our great plan. This is your last chance to redeem yourself. Nan Mai waited respectfully for orders and instructions. Yes, Tran Vu needs a high-level spirit beast. The Heavenly Spirit Cave is the perfect choice scouted out early. She complied quickly. Yes, I obey, while worrying inwardly. The Heavenly Spirit Cave is a sacred ground of the Academy. How can we enter? Tran Vu struggled to dodge the agile giant python's attacks. The impacts echoed with explosive booms that shook the cave. He condensed his true chi and threw a powerful punch. Take my punch. The giant python went first. The boy was strangely small in comparison. Gyat Mien was angry and helpless. It is only at the 6th stage of the yellow rank, but its defensive armor is heaven-defying. Tran Vu wondered inwardly, analyzing it is strangely strong, probably due to the spiritual chi of the Heavenly Spirit Cave. Let us deal with it first to avoid attracting others. He assigned tasks. Clearly, you attract its attention. I will take the opportunity. She resolved to herself, as the senior sister, I must protect my junior brother. She skillfully released 6 dazzling dragon butterflies. The python was dazed as it was hit. Staggering back, the butterflies flapped their wings, releasing a sparkling power. What a good chance, quick. But it was not injured at all. She was shocked and disappointed. It is completely unharmed. The python opened its mouth and shot ice crystals at the dragon butterflies with terrifying force. Tran Vu was decisive and alert. It is useless. Its defensive armor nullifies all attacks. He calculated deeply. I must focus my attack to lock its spiritual chi. He executed the mysterious Buddha spirit. Art. A giant iron chain appeared majestically. She stared wide-eyed in confusion. What is this? Tran Vu's expression was solemn as he focused his mind and gave a decisive command. His spiritual power surged powerfully. The giant python's body was instantly severed cleanly by the iron chain. Ice and blood splattered everywhere. Gyat Mien quickly shielded herself from the aftershock of the fierce attack. A cold wind whistled past her ears. Looking at the giant python's body turning into solid ice, Tran Vu exclaimed in amazement, his eyes flashing. The cold ki dissipated and its body froze on its own. Unlike other spirit beasts, it freezes its opponent even before dying after being defeated. What a terrifying foe! He then noticed something unexpected in front of him. A small spirit beast crawled out from the giant python's body, trembling weakly. Really, Gyat Mien observed it closely with curiosity. Her eyes lighting up with interest. This little spirit beast was swallowed by the icy giant python. It is lucky it did not freeze to death. It has a fire attribute. Tran Vu assessed in detail, surprise welling up. Wait a minute. Auspicious cloud patterns, golden bell-like eyes, exquisite limbs, a mouth that can swallow mountains and rivers. Could it be the legendary ancient mountain and river Pixiu? Legend says that during the great war between gods and demons, the mountain and river Pixiu swallowed hundreds of thousands of demon soldiers, helping the gods achieve victory before me as a cub. Would it not be great to form a contract with it as my spirit beast? Suddenly, an angry shout echoed from behind. Who dares to trespass in the Heavenly Spirit Cave? Ha Mok pointed straight at his face and cursed, his eyes red with hatred. It is you. Behind him was a second-year disciple, Quang Pong, level 18. A member of the Spirit Master Academy's Noble Society, a third-year disciple, Jiang Van Li, level 25, vice president of the Spirit Master Academy's Noble Society, and a second-year disciple, Ba Huang Tui, level 17. Another member of the Spirit Master Academy's Noble Society, Tran Vu, shook his head in annoyance, speaking sarcastically. Well, enemies really do meet on a narrow road. Gyat Mien asked curiously, her suspicion clear. You have met before, he exclaimed angrily, clenching his fists. Good, you brat, I have finally found you. You were lucky last time, but this time you will not escape, even if you grow wings. He swore viciously in his heart, you must die. Hamak continued indignantly, his body trembling on the road. This young master met this brat. He played dirty with me. The poison is still in my body. Van Li stepped forward, his voice confident, so that is what happened. Young Master Ha, rest assured we will deal with him today, Gyat Mien quickly introduced them, her voice full of contempt and arrogance. They are disciples from noble families who established the Noble Society to protect the school's dignity and eliminate the incompetent. They run rampant and act tyrannically, led by Vice President Jiang Van Li, he thought in surprise, frowning. The Noble Society and the Prudent Society sharing the same space. How strange. He pointed at Tran Vu and asked insistently in a threatening tone, Brat, what is your name and what year are you in? Gyat Mien protectively stood with her hands on her hips. Van Li, open your dog eyes and see clearly who I am. Do I need your permission to be noisy? He is my junior brother. Do not mess with him behind her. He scratched his head with an awkward, bitter smile. Your person Van Lee recognized Tran Vu with suspicion, was it not? So Nayen, who said the new guy took few, failed to contract a spirit beast and was taken in by Song Rook. So you are that person. The spirit beast suddenly appeared. Giat Mien scolded him sharply. How dare you call my master by his name directly? Are you tired of living? The spirit beast was about to sneak away, but she quickly caught it. Where do you think you are going, little one? Van Lee stared greedily. What kind of spirit beast is that? I have never seen it before. Hamak sneered, just a stupid cub, nothing special or rare. Let us kill it and use it for alchemy. Tran Vu brought his hand to his mouth, drew blood, and held the spirit beast close gently. Come here and become my contracted spirit beast. Giat Mien was utterly astonished, her eyes wide. What, you are choosing this little fellow as your contracted spirit beast? She wondered silently how this guy knew how important a spirit beast contract was to a spirit master. The two of them burst out laughing, their voices mocking. Did you really think a supreme-grade beast would choose someone like this? His bloody hand touched the spirit beast's aura, and he used his spiritual power to block the blood contract with the formidable Sun Ha Pixiu. As the other guy attempted to form it, he cursed, you fool. This young master will show you what a spirit beast contract really is. An Imperial rank level 7 flame-hunting lion unleashed its firepower and charged at Tran Vu. With a loud bang, the explosion bombarded the area. Hamak laughed smugly, unleashing a powerful move to vent his anger. Van Lee was confident. In the Tianlin cave, I don't know death. How dare you threaten me with Song Rook's name? The boy coldly watched him launch a fiery palm strike, scum of the Tianlin cave, but the Pixiu cowered in fear. The guy was stunned. A fire extraction formation, he knows it. He conjured a water sphere to counter again. Tran Vu gathered his spirit energy, whispering, "This time is different," and used water to counter the fire as his opponent charged, striking him with a sharp flash of light. The attack from the Imperial rank level 7 Makta was relentless. Van Lee commanded, "Quick, your spirit beast, kill them all." Giat Mien couldn't hold back, her voice filled with fury. "Despicable nobles, if you're going to fight 2 against 1, then I won't be polite." Tran Vu attacked Makta, his voice calm. "Don't trouble yourself, senior sister, I can handle this." But a sudden counterattack made him worry inwardly. This is dangerous. The Pixiu was hit in the chest as firepower surged extremely fast. The Pixiu was stunned with fear, unable to react. The boy remained calm as danger approached to save his companion. "You think I'd let you harm my friend?" The area was engulfed in fierce flames. Giat Mien called out anxiously, "Tat Pieu!" Hamak laughed gleefully and cruelly. "I've been too patient. That guy will be burned to a crisp by an Imperial rank level 7 attack." Inside the fire, Tran Vu was safe thanks to the Pixiu's spiritual power. Outside, they were astonished. He blocked it. Did he use a defensive formation? No, that little spirit beast of his must be at least Imperial rank level 9. She breathed a sigh of relief. "You scared me to death. If anything happened to you, how would I explain it to Master?" The greedy bunch saw their chance since the contract wasn't signed and rushed to snatch the spirit beast. The Pixiu opened its mouth and spewed a torrent of flames at them. The 4 of them panicked. "What kind of monster is this? A profound rank spirit beast." Tran Vu commanded proudly. "Still have more tricks. Bring them on." Van Lee sneered. "Tat Fio, you newbie, how dare you be so insolent? Today I'll teach you a lesson on behalf of your master," Tran Vu retorted sarcastically. "Such powerful spirit energy," Giat Mien warned anxiously. "Zhang Van Li is at level 25, don't underestimate him." A powerful force shot towards the boy. Tran Vu just laughed. "On a narrow path, the brave one wins. You want to fight, I'm not afraid of you." He gathered power in his hand and struck straight at the guy. Van Lee sneered, "You ignorant brat. In a one-on-one fight, you'll be crushed to pieces." Tran Vu became serious and put all his strength into the clash. Giat Mien tensed up, thinking, he's only level 15, how can he fight Zhang Van Li? The boy rejoiced inwardly, the Sun Ha Pixiu is truly a lucky treasure. His attack is stronger than mine, how is that possible? Both of them struggled to condense a surging firepower as spirit energy swelled around their hands and rose from their palms. A swarm of sparkling butterflies flew out from Giat Mien's hands as she quickly set up a formation. A giant umbrella appeared, providing a sturdy shield. The umbrella grew larger and larger as Giat Mien shouted in anger. "So you want to play many against one, huh?" Suddenly, the ground beneath their feet cracked open with numerous fissures. Loud cracking sounds echoed violently. The 2 of them turned pale with fear, exclaiming in horror, "This familiar feeling, could it be?" A massive explosion erupted violently. All 3 of them were thrown into the chaotic air. Ha Mok's group stood there as the thick smoke billowed. Ha Mok smiled confidently and arrogantly. 5 of us attacking together, the spirit energy is truly immense. Inside the Tianlin cave are many limestone caverns. He fell down and was buried alive by thousands of boulders. There's no doubt he's dead. Looking at the cracked ground, they stood frozen in shock. The cracks spread wider and all 4 of them turned and fled for their lives. Let's go! Down below, Gyat Mien coughed and called out through the dust, Tat Piu, where are you? He replied calmly, I'm over here, don't shout, you'll make my ears go deaf. Our luck isn't bad, huh? We fell without getting hurt. She was annoyed and frustrated. What do you mean, not bad luck? Even if we didn't die from the fall, we're trapped to death. Tran Vu analyzed carefully, his eyes scanning the dark cave. The rockfall above is about 30 meters thick. We'll need to be at level 25 to break through. A normal person would need to cultivate wholeheartedly for a year to do that. Suddenly, the Pixiu, which had been stunned by the fall from the pile of rocks, jumped onto his shoulder and mumbled softly, I thought you'd run away, you little rascal. It has accepted me as its master. Was it moved when I heroically saved the cute pet earlier? A drop of Tran Vu's blood touched the Pixiu's forehead through his spiritual power. A brilliant spiritual light shone brightly and transformed into a symbol that fit warmly in his palm. Tran Vu observed it with excitement. I'll wait for the Son Ha Pixiu to absorb the essence of heaven and earth and join forces with me. Then she saw him sitting down to cultivate. Gyat Mien grew impatient. What time is it to be cultivating? Hurry up. She felt a powerful surge of pure spirit energy gathering into a strong wind. Could it be an ancient spirit beast nearby? Gyat Mien was stunned watching the Pixiu's spiritual power grow stronger as Tran Vu cultivated, Don't tell me it's because of him. Van Li ran for his life from the dangerous cloud of dust and rock. Outside, people were waiting anxiously for senior brother Jiang to emerge. The vice headmaster of the Spirit Master Academy, Trin Kai Vu, rushed over and asked with concern, Van Li, what happened in the Tianlin cave? The guy reported quickly, his voice respectful. Headmaster Trin, please forgive me. On patrol, I discovered 2 disciples sneaking in to hunt spirit beasts. When I tried to stop them, they provoked a high-level spirit beast, causing a landslide that buried them alive. The odds are not in their favor. The old man frowned sternly. To enter the Tianlin cave without permission, have you identified them? Van Li replied, It seems to be the personal disciple of Teacher Song, Ruk Headmaster Trin. You should ask Teacher Ko. He turned to leave reluctantly. How could this happen? Follow me, let's find Song Ruk and ask him what's going on. The guy thought to himself, Song Ruk, you always cause me to lose face today. It's your turn. Song Ruk was meditating in his room when he sensed someone outside and called, Come in. Long Ha stepped forward and asked, Teacher Ko, where is Tat Fu? Song Ruk frowned. I wasn't paying attention yesterday. You're a disciple from the 2nd year of the Vulam Battalion, aren't you? Captain Long Ha of the Vermilion Bird Guard of the Vulam Battalion. She reported, I am under orders to investigate. Last night, the guard saw a suspicious girl, and the person she brought was Tat Fu. He said calmly, The Vulam Battalion is responsible for the Academy's safety and is divided into the Azure Dragon, White Tiger, Vermilion Bird, and Black Tortoise. Its members are talented young individuals, and its captains are outstanding students from the 3rd year. You should pay attention to even the smallest secrets. They cannot be hidden. Long Ha tensed up. Yes, what do you mean, teacher? This disciple does not understand. She thought, he knows my true identity, he said casually. Tat Fu went out with his senior sister. I don't know where they went. Outside, Kai Vu shouted loudly, Song Ruk, you audacious fool, come out and accept responsibility for your disciple's great trouble. And you're still sitting here drinking tea, he calmly and gently said. Vice Headmaster Trin, what is the matter? Why are you so angry? Van Li asked. Teacher Ko, do you know where your 2 disciples are? He was puzzled, thinking, This is strange today. Why is everyone looking for Tat Fu? He's become so famous. Long Ha asked, Senior brother Jiang, do you know where he is? If so, please tell me. I need to see him to ask some questions. The guy sneered coldly. I'm afraid you won't get the chance to see him again. Tat Fu and Gyat Mien trespassed into the Tianlin cave and caused trouble. The mountain cave collapsed and they were crushed by rocks. Song Ruk was stunned. Long Ha was shocked and couldn't believe it. What? Kai Vu criticized. Stop acting. How could you not discipline your disciple properly and let them cause such a huge mess? I need an explanation. Long Ha was devastated. That guy is dead. Song Ruk angrily questioned, how did the 2 of them get into the Tianlin cave? Where were the guards at the gate? Why didn't they stop them? He replied, "They were afraid of your disciple's tyrannical reputation. Others take in one personal disciple, and you are so formidable, Vice Headmaster Van Lee," and the crowd shouted, "Then get out of the Spirit Master Academy, teacher." "Get out! You don't deserve to be a teacher. Compensate for what happened in the Tianlin cave. Damn it, give us a proper answer. Don't even think about getting away with this." A few people listened in on the gossip. The Tianlin cave collapsed because of Teacher Ko's personal disciple. "We haven't even gone in to see how the Tianlin cave collapsed." Long Ha ordered her disciples. "There are many onlookers. Pay attention and protect Teacher Ko. Wait for the headmaster." A rumbling sound was transmitted through the air. "What is that sound? What is that sound?" It's the Pixiu Tran Vu was there. With a majestic roar, it returned with the two of them full of vigor. Gyat Mian smiled brightly. "You're so loud." Tran Vu burst out laughing. "You little darling, next time we argue, I'll rely on you, kid." Van Lee saw him unharmed, and his jaw dropped. "Tat Fu is alive. Are you a human or a ghost?" Kai Vu's face turned pale. "Weren't you buried under thousands of rocks without a single scratch?" Song Ruk realized it immediately. In just half a day, his cultivation broke through to level 25. How did he do it? He fully absorbed the Sun Ha Pixiu through the Spirit Beast contract. No wonder, no wonder. Gyat Mian asked with sharp sarcasm, "Senior Brother Jiang, it's broad daylight. What are you so afraid of? Have you done something against your conscience?" The guy was startled and replied frantically, "Nonsense! You're the ones who have gone against your conscience. You destroyed the Tianlin cave. I saw it with my own eyes. Don't deny it." Tran Vu exposed him immediately, his eyes flashing sharply. "It's clear that you entered with the Chan Can Society. What were you plotting? We caught you, so you tried to kill us, to silence us by blowing up the cave. What? The Chan Can Society Senior Brother Jiang is colluding with the Chan Can Society." Van Lee lost his composure, his face red with anger. "Nonsense what, Chan Can Society? What plot? It's because you wouldn't hand over the Spirit Beast that I took action." He quickly covered his mouth, having spoken carelessly as panic spread across his face. The crowd behind them gasped as they realized the truth, and whispers echoed around. Tran Vu seized the opportunity to expose him completely, his voice confident. "Then you attacked us and made the cave collapse, thinking this kid was more foolish than you imagined." Everyone present was frozen in shock. Kai Vu was humiliated and asked in disbelief, "So it was you who was playing tricks?" A murderous intent flashed in Van La's eyes. "Damn you! You've pushed me into a corner. In that case, I'll kill you, and there will be no one to testify." He gathered power in his hands. "Tat Fu, you're good at framing people. Today I'll teach you a lesson." The powerful raging wave palm shot towards Tran Vu. Long Ha immediately intervened decisively. "Van Lee, don't." She quickly ordered her subordinates, "Vermilion Bird Guard, protect the witness." She thought worriedly, the raging wave palm is Jiang Van Lee's ultimate technique. Tat Fu's cultivation is low, he'll die if he takes this hit. The boy stood tall, waiting for the blow, but the fist was blocked firmly. Song Ruk was unexpectedly astonished. Kai Vu's eyes widened in shock. With just one hand, he was able to... The boy squeezed Van Lee's hand tightly, his voice cold. "You want to kill me to silence me, you're an idiot." Tran Vu punched the guy, sending him flying back violently. "You're beyond saving." The guy was heavily injured by the palm strike and spat out blood. Song Ruk calmly reminded him, "Tat Fu, the Vermilion Bird Guard is here. Let them handle it." He thought with interest, "My disciple has quite a few secrets." Long Ha quickly ordered, "Vermilion Bird Guard, take Jiang Van Lee away for investigation." She praised him. "I haven't seen you in just a few days, and your power has already broken through to level 25. How did you do it? Am I too naive, or is he just that strong?" Long Ha ordered him taken away, then turned to ask you if Vice Head Trin, who was warmly invited after last night, had arrived and wanted to have tea with him. He left in embarrassment, making an excuse. Chan Vu sighed in relief for passing the ordeal, but Gyat Mian whispered, "Don't celebrate too soon, look at Master's face." He was glaring at his two terrified disciples. Upon entering the room, Song Ruk was enjoying warm tea when Gyat Mian admitted fault, "Master. I know I was wrong and promised not to cause any more trouble making the old man choke on his tea." Song Ruk silently regarded the disciples before him, then cleared his throat. "Do you know how great the losses are this time? By the way, what did you and Tat Fu promise?" She denied it, saying, "What promise? We just knew each other from before." He gave a forced smile just as Gyat Mian almost blurted it out and quickly covered his mouth to stop him from finishing. Song Ruk teased, "What is wrong? Why will you not let him speak?" She pouted. "Master, why are you so excited about this?" He chuckled. "It is nothing. Secretly moved, he was so fierce when fighting, but now he was blushing and adorable. Seeing the two so close, Zongruk felt like his presence was superfluous. Just as it grew quiet, someone outside asked to enter. Tae-lan stepped in and greeted Teacher Ko. "Are you well? I am looking for Tat Phyu." He was happy to see a familiar face. "Brother Tae-lan, are you all having a meeting? I will not disturb you. I will find Tat Phyu later." He replied, "No disturbance. Master, I would like to see Brother Tae-lan. May I have your permission first?" Tran Vu put his arm around Tae-lan's shoulder familiarly as they went out. "You are finally back. I have something to ask you. This time I am treating you to a feast." They went to their usual pizza place where the table was laden with delicious food, much to Tae-lan's admiration. "Senior Brother Tat, you have only been at the academy for 2 days, yet you have already made an impression as a powerful figure." Tran Vu humbly replied, "Heaven and earth are my witness. I did not want them to remember me. By the way, about that time at my home, the spell to break the feigned death curse. Who taught you that he revealed?" "One time when I went to the abandoned courtyard to do some chores, I had some free time and picked up a book to read." "Is something wrong?" he asked. "The origin of that spell is important to me. Where is that abandoned courtyard? Take me to see it." He secretly suspected that the attacker from the beginning was someone from the Spirit Master Academy. Meanwhile, in the noble faction, tensions were high as Van Lee berated a waste of space. "You could not even beat a newcomer," faction head Tanvo Luong cursed. "You have brought shame upon the noble faction," Ha Mok Sen added. "Faction head Tat Phyu has ruined our plans multiple times. We must kill him quickly." "This time it is for the princess. Have you found the one from the Tat Thang Empire yet?" Van Lee replied. "There is very little information. With several thousand disciples in the academy, finding the princess is not easy unless we can investigate the student records. But the head teacher of the Songduk faction will not agree." Growing impatient, he asked, "Is there not any other way?" Bao Huyen offered a suggestion. "This disciple has an idea. Vo Luong was interested to deal with Songduk." The man replied, "Not just Songduk, but also that disciple Tat Phyu. We will make it so he can never recover." Tran Vu sneezed. Tae-lan asked with concern, "Did you catch a cold?" He replied, "No." "Could someone be speaking ill of me?" Tae-lan introduced briefly, his voice full of pride. "Before you is the place where I found that spell." Tran Vu was astonished, his eyes wide. "This is part of the Spirit Master Academy. Why is it so desolate?" Tae-lan explained, gesturing around the dark area many disciples used to practice here, but 6 months ago a series of strange incidents occurred. Everyone got scared and moved out. He was immediately intrigued, his eyes sparkling with curiosity. "What kind of strange incidents?" he answered vaguely, lowering his voice. "The Academy has not given specific details, I only know." Tran Vu pressed impatiently, know what Tae-lan opened the door to an old cobweb-covered house and recounted nervously. In less than half a month, more than 10 disciples disappeared in the middle of the night. Nowhere to be found, alive or dead. People got curious and secretly investigated, but found nothing except for that spell book over there. His eyes flashed as he quickly spotted something and touched it. A formation. It is a formation carved from black devouring dragon bone. It has already been set up here. The missing disciples were devoured. Who would dare to do such a thing within the Spirit Master Academy? A shadow flashed past the window. Tran Vu turned alertly and demanded, "Who is there?" Nan Mai jumped over the wall and fled. He ordered quick split up and pursue catch her alive at all costs. Tae-lan gave chase. Tran Vu reached out and easily caught her, squeezing tightly until she could barely breathe. "Where do you think you are going?" Seeing her face clearly, Tran Vu was utterly surprised. "It is you." Nan Mai, gasping for air as he choked her, had panic in her eyes. She pushed his hand off her neck and ran for her life. Tran Vu called out after her, "Hey, little lady, who are you? Why were you following me?" She stopped abruptly, turned around in a huff, and snapped, "Who would want to follow you? I am a disciple of this academy. I have the right to walk by." Nan Mai's body was in serious trouble. Unfortunately, the curse chose that moment to activate. Tran Vu's sharp eyes recognized it, the life-taking curse seal. He warned her with a wary tone. "Are you crazy? Your curse seal is activating and you are running around. Do not struggle. I will stabilize the seal for you." He began transferring his energy to heal Nan Mai, silently assessing her. An ancient curse technique with such a dark aura. The story behind this is more complicated than I thought. After the treatment, Nan Mai felt better. Tran Vu demanded a normal disciple would not be afflicted with a life-taking curse seal. "Tell me, what is your true identity? Why were you following me? If you do not talk, I will report you to the academy. She confessed the truth. I was following you because my master ordered me to. He told me to find the secret passage to the heavenly spirit cave. My life was given to me by him, so I will do everything in my power to repay his kindness. Tranvu speculated your master must be a villain. Is he a member of the True Diligence Society? You look like you have been brainwashed. Nanmai scoffed the True Diligence Society. What are they? They are nothing compared to the Truong Vu Kung. The Truong Vu Kung is an assassin organization with 6 halls of execution. They never make a mistake in their assassinations. I am not an official member. I was raised by the Palace Lord. I must complete his orders. Tranvu continued. He raised you but did not let you join and even placed a curse on you. He sees you as a tool. She denied it. No, the Truong Vu Kung took me in. The Palace Lord raised me. His kindness is immense, and I will not let you speak ill of him. Tranvu understood. No wonder you are a woman disguised as a man. He said coldly, the life-taking curse seal is dangerous. If you do not have the antidote and the poison spreads to your heart, even a great golden immortal would find it hard to save you. His words left Nanmai speechless. She tried to leave immediately. It is none of your business, Tranvu called after her. I have saved you 2 times. At least tell me your name. She relented. I am Nanmai. He introduced himself. I am Tat Phu. If your curse acts up again, find me and I will help. If you want to leave the Truong Vu Kung, tell me and I will help you. She did not believe him. Help me? Who do you think you are, a saint? Tranvu concluded that she was a new student and could not have set up the formation. The True Diligence Society and young Master Tan needed to be investigated. Talon ran back and asked Brother Tat, did you find anything? He lied. Nothing unusual, just a stray cat. Oh, Hut Pizza has a new shrimp tail flavor. It is pretty good. Let us go. I will treat you. Back at the academy, the bright sun shone down on the area. In the room, Song Ruk suggested, you two do not run around for the next few days. Follow me and cultivate properly. Especially you, Tat Phu. You are new here. Do not be arrogant. He agreed verbally, yes, sir, but felt conflicted inside. With Teacher Ko keeping watch, how could I investigate young Master Tan and the Heavenly Spirit Cave? Just then, he could not see a shadow of him. A person entered the room and reported Teacher Ko, the elders from the discipline hall, summon you and Tat Phu. He pondered why he was being summoned. Gyat Mian worried he is not in trouble, is he? The discipline hall was in charge of school rules, and violations could lead to expulsion. The two arrived at the main hall of the discipline hall. Nam Not sat in the presiding seat and declared Zong Ruk's crime. Zong Ruk, you have brazenly violated the school rules by taking a personal disciple who has not even formed a contract with a spirit beast. Do you admit your guilt? He replied, Tat Phu is exceptionally talented. The headmaster himself said that a contract is not the only standard. He found a spirit beast on his 2nd day of school. Vo Luong then stepped forward, twisting his words. Do not use the headmaster's words to shirk your responsibility. There are so many disciples, why choose Tat Phu? How could he capture a high-grade spirit beast right after enrolling? Tranvu wondered who this person was. Gyat Mian introduced him. That is the head of the noble faction, Tan Vo Luong. He is very cunning. He continued, I sent people to investigate Tat Phu's background. He is Teacher Ko's biological nephew. Here is the proof. Zong Ruk acted on personal feelings, accepting Tat Phu through fraudulent means and breaking the rules. This cannot be forgiven. He could not believe this fabricated relationship. His biological nephew Tranvu now understood why the noble faction had been so quiet despite their recent losses. They have forged the evidence. The disciples broke into a flurry of discussion. Teacher Ko went too far. No wonder Tat Phu was directly admitted. It must be nepotism. Impossible. Teacher Ko would not do that, Vo Luong then pointed out. On his very first day, Tat Phu went to the Forbidden River. The academy guard can confirm this. Tat Phu, who was that suspicious girl with you? Who did you let escape? He replied, that girl said I was not handsome enough, so she took advantage of me since we had just met. I do not even know her name. Vo Luong was furious. You expect us to believe that nonsense Nanmai hidden in the crowd, thought to herself. The situation is so dangerous, yet he did not reveal my identity. Nam Not spoke up, his decisive voice ringing with authority, since things have come to this. Zong Ruk and Tat Phu have engaged in deceitful tricks and violated the rules. The punishment will be decided in 10 days. After reporting to the headmaster, they will be expelled from the academy immediately. Tranvu crossed his arms, looking nonchalant, his eyes gleaming with confidence. You still think I did not get here based on my own strength? The other person retorted with contempt. And you are saying you did. He turned to the old man and offered a quick solution. Determining if the evidence is real or fake is too troublesome. Instead, I have a way to prove my innocence. Tanvo Luong, I want to challenge you. He never expected Tran Vu to be so audacious. His shock was clearly visible. What the boy was supremely confident. A smirk playing on his lips. As long as I defeat you, I will prove my strength. Then everything you just said will be proven as slander. Yat Mien sighed heavily in helplessness. The other people thought, is Tat Pheu insane? Tran Vu provoked his opponent, his voice ringing with challenge. So what do you say? Do you dare to accept my challenge? Back at the noble faction's headquarters, Vo Luong summoned his men at once. He burst out laughing as he recounted the event, his ridicule overflowing. It is hilarious. I have never seen such a pig-brained fool. With his level of strength, he dares to challenge me in front of everyone. Bao Huyen offered his analysis. Tat Pheu has no other way out. It is a desperate move. He wants to use a duel to buy more time. Van Lee was wary, his eyes narrowed. That kid is cunning. He set the duel for 3 days from now. He must be plotting something. He was not afraid in the slightest, a cold smile on his face. The more he plots, the more interesting this gets. I want him to know that in the face of true power, any petty trick is a dead end. Back in their room, Giat Mien angrily confronted him, her hands on her hips. Tat Pheu, why did you do something so reckless? He was busy enjoying a slice of pizza in his hand, his voice full of satisfied praise. Amazing, I cannot believe Hut Pizza's delivery guy brought it right to our door. He ignored her scolding. Tanvo Luong is at level 30. You are 5 levels below him. By choosing to fight him, are you trying to get yourself killed? Tran Vu teased her, his eyes twinkling. Even if I die, it is my death. What are you so worried about? Do not tell me you like me. Giat Mien's face turned beet red with embarrassment as she stammered. Nonsense, Song Ruk interjected seriously. His brows furrowed. Tanvo Luong's chi technique is powerful enough to slice through iron. Furthermore, his spirit beast is an imperial rank first stage purple-winged flying dragon. Challenging him, you, he calmly reassured them. Do not worry, I have my reasons for doing this. I'm going for a walk to digest. As he walked to another area, Tran Vu thought calculatingly, exposing their deceptive tricks will be easy. I cannot pass up this excellent opportunity. If the noble faction is involved with dark sorcery, Tanvo Luong might be secretly cultivating evil arts. The duel in 3 days is the perfect chance to check. As for the difference in our strength, I can make up for it with elixirs. Picking a few spirit herbs, Tran Vu exclaimed in satisfaction. Dragon spirit, grass, falling pear blossom, cloud-patterned fruit. He ate all of the spirit herbs, a surge of excitement rising within him. This is great. Let me take a look around here. He immediately realized this place was rich in spiritual energy. It turned out to be a medicinal garden. This time, I do not have to worry about lacking ingredients. I wonder who the owner of this garden is. The situation is urgent, so I will just pick a few first. After I am done refining the pills, I will apologize to the owner. A gentle voice came from behind him. Little friend, are you here to pick medicinal herbs? He was startled and spun around. Sir, are you the owner of this place? He wondered in surprise, was I that careless? He was so close, yet I did not sense his presence at all. Or perhaps... The old man smiled kindly. I am not the owner of this garden. I just help take care of it. Young friend, feel free to take whatever herbs you need. Zhen Wu clasped his hands in deep gratitude, saying, Many thanks, old sir. Once I've refined the pills, I will surely gift you some in return. The old man asked curiously. Young friend, you're already skilled in the art of pill refining at your age. He answered humbly, I only know a little bit. The man sized up Zhen Wu with a flicker of surprise in his eyes. The herbs he picked were top-grade rare in the world, and few people could recognize them. Could he be a mid-rank third-grade alchemist, but he's so young? Yes, it was time for him to leave. As this was enough, please convey my thanks to the owner for me. The old man agreed, all right, I will be sure to pass on the message. Zhen Wu joyfully dashed off, his happiness radiating. I never expected this medicinal garden to have so many good herbs. I'm rich this time. Behind him, the old man lamented painfully. I've tended to them for 15 years just to get 3 of those spirit ginsengs, you know. It hurts so much. A disciple called out, Old headmaster, it is time for the meeting. The old man smiled, taking off the hat on his head. His gentle demeanor faded, and a distinct majesty appeared. All right, let's go. Returning to the academy, Zhen Wu was surprised to see his 2 friends, Shi Ling and Long. Hey, what are you 2 doing here? He approached worriedly, Brother B. I heard you are fighting Qin Wuliang. That is very dangerous. Long, he chimed in urgently. Bi Piao, are you insane? Challenging Qin Wuliang is no different from committing suicide. Just pack up and run away quickly. He calmly pushed open his room's door and entered, his voice steady. "Thank you for your concern. I understand the situation better than anyone." The door slammed shut, leaving the two people outside shouting, "BPL Brother B." Jen Wu was busy thinking, let's see what pill should I refine first. There are so many secret formulas it's hard to remember. Ren Mai appeared out of nowhere, saying, "You don't have to fight Qin Wuliang to protect me." He frowned and turned towards the sound of her voice as she urged, "Hurry and hand me over. They'll let you go." At this point, Jen Wu couldn't stand it anymore. "Can't you all just trust me a little bit, huh?" 3 days later at the arena, whispers and chatter echoed, "Who do you think will win?" Don't be ridiculous. Of course, it's President Qin, that piece of trash who got in through connections, is challenging the president of the Nobles Association. He's looking for death. Jie Mian was worried sick. Where did Piao run off to? I haven't seen him since early this morning. The headmaster stood on a high tower observing the new student, Piao. I'm really curious what kind of storm he'll stir up today. Wu Liang was present, sitting leisurely in a chair, while a servant held an umbrella and served him tea. This guy still hasn't shown up. He's either run away or is hiding thousands of miles away. Before he could even finish speaking that it was time, Piao still hadn't appeared. "He has fled, I hereby declare." Jen Wu appeared majestically, flying down from above. "Who said I ran away?" He landed firmly on the ground. "Haven't I arrived?" The headmaster then realized that the one who stole his herbs was him. Wu Liang announced with great arrogance, "There's a path to heaven, but you refuse to take it. There's no gate to hell, yet you charge right in. Piao, today, next year, will be the anniversary of your death. You've used quite a few pills, haven't you? Unfortunately, clutching the Buddha's feet is useless." Jen Wu sneered sarcastically. "President Qin, did you send your people to follow me? Look how panicked you are. The dark circles under your eyes are so obvious. It seems you haven't slept well these past 3 days, huh?" He was startled and shouted loudly, "Nonsense." After speaking, Wu Liang flew towards his opponent. He announced menacingly, "In a moment, you won't even be able to cry if you want to." A roar echoed. The life-and-death duel begins. First, Wu Liang unleashed his killing technique, his true qi materializing into the head of a monstrous beast and lunging fiercely towards him. Jen Wu smiled as if he already had a countermeasure. He channeled true qi into the palm of his hand. A single punch shot straight forward against that attack. A loud bang echoed around where Jen Wu stood. Jie Mian cheered in delight. He dispersed a killing technique using only true qi. He's got potential. Then Yao thought with doubt. The gap between Piao and Qin Wuliang is huge. In just 3 short days, could taking pills increase his strength to that level? With his experience, he can refine such high-level pills, could it be? Wu Liang angrily questioned, "Brat, what on earth did you take?" He ordered confidently, "Whatever other moves you have, hurry up and use them." Wu Liang swore to himself, a glint of determination in his eyes. I can't let him gain the upper hand. I must kill him quickly." His hand pointed to the sky and a spirit beast appeared instantly. "It seems I have to show my true strength." Purple-winged flying dragon, royal rank, first stage. The purple-winged flying dragon is a fire attribute. Shi Ling exclaimed in fear. This is bad. He summoned his contracted spirit beast. Long, he quickly warned. "You're in danger!" The flying dragon condensed a massive and dangerous heaven-swallowing blazing flame. The disciples below panicked and scattered run. Wu Liang watched smugly as the blazing flames engulfed the area. "Burn him to ashes for me." The Pixiu opened its mouth and sucked all the blazing flames into its belly. Jen Wu stood unharmed in the middle of the arena. He scoffed mockingly. "Don't celebrate so soon. You're not the only one with a contracted spirit beast, you know." Wu Liang's eyes widened in astonishment. "My heaven-swallowing blazing flame was devoured. What is that monster?" Jen Wu ordered the Pixiu to release the blazing flame it had just absorbed. "Let's go." Seeing him being violently knocked back, Wan Li rushed to support the president. He said angrily, "Piao, you're good. You dare to be so reckless. Go to hell." He had a cunning plan in mind. The situation isn't looking good. "I'll use the chaos to kill him first." Wan Li ordered the disciples kill him. "I'd like to see who dares to interfere." Jen Wu's friends immediately stepped forward. "So you guys are going to gang up on him, right? Then we should also use our numbers to our advantage. Let's see if you have our permission first. Piao, we're here to help you." Good timing. I was holding in my anger. Now I can play with you all a bit. Wan Li sneered disdainfully. "Where did this bunch of idiots crawl out from? If you want to be buried with Piao, I'll grant you your wish." He waved his hand and ordered his subordinates to charge forward. "Go." On the other side, Piao and his friends were ready to fight. Long Ha was the first to charge, sending the henchmen flying with a single kick. They took turns using the mountain-splitting fist. She didn't even take them seriously. Daring to come out here with just that level of skill is truly embarrassing. Rushing Thunderfinger Renmai dashed out of the fight. Her speed is too fast, I can't even see her. Wan Li stood to the side, watching his men get knocked down one after another. Damn it! He was filled with rage and unleashed a move. I will burn you all to cinders. Wan Li attacked from above, his power radiating a scorching heat. Jaemian quickly spun around and created a solid defensive stance. She stood to one side, shielding her team to continue the fight. Two streams of power collided fiercely. Both sides were evenly matched, creating a stalemate. Wan Li spoke out, unwilling to concede. My proudest technique, the Four Flames art, was defended so easily by a little girl like you. Seeing him pause, Wu Liang angrily yelled, "Keep attacking, you pig-brained fool! She won't be able to hold on for much longer." Jen Wu suddenly appeared behind him. You should worry about yourself first. He launched a surprise palm strike from behind, sending Wu Liang flying with a single punch. Caught off guard by the sudden attack, he couldn't defend himself and crashed heavily to the ground. Wu Liang spoke with discontent. You stinking brat, you clearly said you don't like to use force, and now you're ambushing me. Jen Wu wasted no words and continued his barrage of attacks. He snorted coldly, full of arrogance. Don't celebrate too soon. Let me tell you, I still have techniques I haven't used yet. He rushed forward quickly, but his opponent managed to use a move to block his attack. The crowd buzzed with discussion. Blade and spear immunity is the ultimate technique of the Wu Liang family. It's known as the strongest shield. It seems the outcome is already clear, but Jie Mian was suddenly worried. This is bad. Wu Liang is using the hard chi technique. Jen Wu continued to attack relentlessly despite his solid defense. Wu Liang spoke arrogantly. You're feeling quite desperate, aren't you? Let me teach you this lesson. Never celebrate too early. It's time to end this. Go to hell. Before he could finish his sentence, his solid defense was shattered by a single palm strike from him. He staggered and stumbled, blood gushing from his mouth. Wu Liang's face fell in disbelief that he had shattered his technique with a single move. The crowd couldn't believe their eyes. What wasn't Wu Liang using the hard chi technique? So how did he still get injured? Jen Wu smugly rubbed his arm. You should keep that lesson for yourself. He thought confidently, not many people can counter the hard chi technique. Luckily, I met Hua Jingjun in the Divine Realm. He specializes in dealing with this kind of technique. That's great. Ye Mian had previously warned me to watch out for the hard chi technique. Now the headmaster frowned in deep thought. Was that just now the force-dissipating fist? Isn't that the technique from all those years ago? Wasn't it created by the loose immortal Bao Yun of the Divine Realm? How could it have been passed down to the mortal world? His heart was filled with suspicion. Could it be that Bi Piao is? He said frankly that last strike severely injured your 5 viscera and 6 bowels. It must be very difficult to circulate your ki. Now I advise you to surrender. Wu Liang refused to accept it, shouting, I am the dignified president of the Nobles Association and a spirit master of the Academy. How could I possibly surrender? He got up and charged towards Bi Piao, but he easily dodged the dark engraving curse technique. Then Jen Wu, with his swift and agile movements, turned and launched a decisive counterattack. Caught by surprise and unable to defend, Wu Liang was knocked down hard. An announcement rang out. The match is over. Wu Liang is down. Congratulations to Jen Wu for his victory. The headmaster stood up, his voice booming. Guards, take Wu Liang away. I want to interrogate him personally. His subordinates respectfully replied, yes, sir. The old man wondered to himself. His last move contained a dark power. What in the world is going on? Everyone cheered joyfully. You won. Congratulations, Brother B. Jen Wu scratched his head shyly. It's more accurate to say that we won. Thank you all for your righteous help. From the crowd of onlookers, someone suddenly spoke up. Wait. That yellow outfit looks just like the one worn by the suspicious person who appeared in the Forbidden Courtyard a few days ago. The crowd started murmuring suspiciously. Hearing this, Vo Luong's eyes lit up, and he quickly turned around. He seized the opportunity to accuse him aloud. Tat Pyu, you colluded with outsiders to sneak into the Forbidden Courtyard. How do you intend to explain yourself, huh? Nan Mai on this side was surprised that someone had exposed her as the crowd's murmurs grew louder. So there really is something wrong with Tat Pyu. That's right, so what if he won? The Academy cannot have a traitor. He might have been sent by some evil force. Capture him and investigate thoroughly. That's right, we must capture him. Then suddenly a voice was heard, making everyone fall silent. Everyone, don't misunderstand, Dada said confidently. They are innocent. I can testify, a mocking voice rang out. Who the hell do you think you are to speak up? The headmaster asked, who is this young disciple? Kai Vu whispered. Wai Lao seemed to have an epiphany. So it's him. I didn't think he would stand up at a time like this. It seems he no longer intends to hide his identity. Van Lee, still discontented, shouted loudly, "Who the hell do you think you are? You vouch for him, get lost before you get a beating. He paid him no mind, tat fieu. You really made me see you in a new light. With your clan's support, you were allowed to enroll in the True Spirit Master Academy. And today, in front of everyone, you defeated Vo Luong. I'm truly impressed." Yet Mien curiously turned to him and asked, "Who is he?" Tat Fieu was also suspicious. "You are." The atmosphere became eerily silent. The question, "Who are you?" was not even finished. The entire hall was filled with astonishment, finding it odd if they don't know each other. "Why is he speaking so forwardly?" Dada calmly continued, "It's perfectly normal that you don't recognize me. Because we've never met, or rather, I used to look down on you. I am Dada. Your mother is my maternal aunt. In other words, we are cousins." He turned around and declared in a resonant voice, "I can prove that Tat Fieu and Teacher Song Duke have no familial relationship because I am very familiar with the Tat clan's family ties." He stared wide-eyed in confusion. "I'm just the person in charge of reviewing the competition results." Vo Luong, angry and unconvinced, shouted resentfully, "Where did this country bumpkin crawl out from?" How can his words be trusted? He helplessly said again, "I already told you. I'm just the referee." Vo Luong's words angered Dada country bumpkin. "Even your father wouldn't dare speak to me like that." "You must have a death wish not to be outdone," he retorted. "You brat. Do you have any idea who my father is?" "He is the richest man in the Thang Tien Empire, the richest on this continent," he said with a superior air, not giving a damn about this punk. "So do you know who I am?" Then he raised a token, proving his identity. "I am Dada, the Crown Prince of the Thang Tien Empire. Who dare say the words of the Crown Prince are not to be trusted?" The buzz of conversation rose ceaselessly. "Our academy has the Crown Prince of the Thang Tien Empire." Crown Prince Tran Vu could not have foreseen this situation. "My relative is the Crown Prince, what a surprise." Yat Mien laughed mockingly. "What's even more unimaginable is that you yourself didn't even know." He pointed towards Nahan Mai. "As for this young lady, she is the handmaiden I sent to take care of Tat Fieu, so this is all just a misunderstanding." Vo Luong, filled with indignation, charged forward. "Damn it," Van Lee quickly held him back. "President, just stop. Let's just admit defeat." Still not accepting it, he rushed towards Dada. "You're an imposter. Die," caught off guard. Dada stood trembling in fear. Tran Vu realized the danger and shouted, "This is not good. He wants to kill him." To silence him, a loud shout echoed, and Vo Luong's whole body was bound. "That's enough." Vo Luong, the headmaster, spoke majestically. "Dada is indeed the Crown Prince of the Thang Tien Empire. His words can be trusted, Vo Luong. Not only did you fabricate evidence to frame others, but you also secretly practice dark arts. Your crime is unforgivable. Take him away and imprison him for me." Tat Fieu couldn't believe his eyes. "That gardener is the headmaster." Vo Luong was not resigned. "Let me go. I am the president of the Nobles Association. My father is the richest man," he yelled while being dragged away. "You can't treat me this way." Hamak observed the situation, clearly useless. If he can't even defeat that Tat Fieu, how could he possibly complete the mission I gave him? Bao Huyen spoke in his defense. "He wasn't entirely useless. You know, if it weren't for them attracting everyone's attention, how would we have gotten the chance to seize that item?" He laughed loudly and said, "That's true elsewhere. Someone gave an order. Vo Luong knows too much. Find a chance to get rid of him quickly." Bao Huyen acknowledged the order. "Understood. Let's go to the old place." Dada said magnanimously, "Let's go." "Let's find a place to sit, eat, and talk my treat," he replied without any courtesy. "If you're treating, then don't regret it. Let's all go together." He looked at Tran Vu, who was so comfortable. He immediately felt a little pained. "He helped you so much. You should be the one treating." Hearing his name called Tat Fieu, he turned around. Song Duke walked over elegantly. Tran Vu spoke up. "Teacher Song, you should come along too." The teacher then asked seriously, "I have a question for you. You must answer me truthfully." Seeing Song Duke's serious expression, he couldn't help but tense up. "You're from the God realm, aren't you?" The teacher's question left Tran Vu stunned, unsure of how to respond. Outside the restaurant, an employee cheerfully greeted guests. "Welcome to Pizza Hut." Inside, everyone was competing to order. "Waiter, 5 more portions, please." "What is this soft, fragrant thing on top? Let me have a bite. That's cheese, sir. It's delicious." "This is so delicious. Master, please try this and see if you like it." Gyat Mien turned to Tran Vu with concern and asked, "What did you and Master talk about earlier? Why does he keep staring at you?" He recalled the earlier conversation. "God realm, what is Teacher Song talking about? I don't understand." Both sides were constantly probing one another. "Master, the move you used to break Vo Luong's hard Qi Gong, wasn't that the dissolving energy fist? How do you know it so well, Master? Could it be you're from the God realm?" Neither side would back down, making the atmosphere incredibly tense. He then spoke to break the tension and to allow both to save some face. "Let's go eat first." "This master is hungry," Tran Vu chimed in. "I'm hungry too. Let's go." Songduk thought to himself, that was too reckless just now. I shouldn't have revealed my identity like that. Those Tianla people will rely on the divine artifacts of our 6 gods in the human world, and will certainly send people down to the lower realm to search if Tat Fu is truly one of them. I can't rest easy either. Songduk could actually guess that I came from the god realm. Could he be the one who assassinated me? Both sides were immersed in their own separate thoughts. Filled with wariness, each wanted to protect themselves as his identity was not yet clear. I absolutely cannot reveal my own while he was lost in his train of thought. Dada tapped him on the shoulder and called out. Older cousin, he began to ask, how did you become so amazing? In a short half-year, you went from being a total waste to a once-in-a-century genius. The others were also curious, and also from whom did you learn your pill refinement techniques? In only 3 days, you used medicinal pills to close the power gap between you and Vo Luong. That's right, I'm very curious too. He panicked at the questions this well. It's actually quite simple. Everyone stared wide-eyed, anticipating Tran Vu's answer, but he didn't know how to explain it. Suddenly, he pointed towards the main door, headmaster. Just at that moment, a server brought out a pizza. Your supreme pizza has arrived. Tran Vu ran away. Everyone was angry. He's gone, that rascal. Everyone was annoyed, yelling for him to return. He even took the best piece of pizza. Tat Fu, get back here, he thought worriedly. Now I'm in trouble. I was too over the top. Now everyone suspects me. I need to hurry up and take care of my real business. On a clear and cool moonlit night, gentle wisps of clouds drifted across the sky. The bright moonlight illuminated the ground below, where tall rooftops stood. Inside a dark, gloomy prison cell, Vo Luong was tightly bound. Tran Vu's spirit beast jumped in through the window. He knelt on the ground, shocked to see him appear. The Pixiu spat out a large fireball from its mouth, and he stepped out from it, slowly approaching Vo Luong, who asked fearfully, "What are you doing here?" Azure Dragon Tran Vu asked haughtily, "Speak. Where did you learn the dark curse arts?" Vo Luong laughed loudly. You risked sneaking into the secret prison guarded by the Azure Dragon Guards just to ask this one question. I don't understand what you're saying. Before he could finish, he interjected with absolute certainty. It was from the Chan Kan Association, wasn't it? Van Li himself welcomed young Master Tan. That proves you and the Chan Kan Association are very close. If you weren't acting as moles, then those disciples who disappeared from the abandoned dormitory would not have been taken by the Chan Kan Association. Surprised at being exposed, he said, "You've only been here a few days. How do you know all this?" He threatened, "Spit out everything you know now. Otherwise, I will bury you and that secret together." Terrified, he stammered, "Wait a moment. It's true that Chan Kan Hoi taught us some dark sorcery in exchange. We had to help them find the princess of the victorious empire who is hiding in the Heaven and Earth Academy. As heaven is my witness, that is all I know." Tran Vu asked, "Why are they looking for the princess?" Vo Luong answered truthfully, "I only know they are also acting on someone else's orders. The one who gave the command is the one who taught us the dark sorcery." As he was saying, "I've never seen him myself, only heard him called the Divine Emissary." A mysterious figure in black struck from behind, finishing him off. Vo Luong collapsed to the ground. Startled, Tran Vu leaped up, but the mysterious figure had already vanished. Filled with rage, he punched a hole through the sturdy prison wall with a single fist, killing him to silence him. Seeing him frantically fleeing right before his eyes, he quickly gave chase, shouting, "You think you can run? Stop right there!"